charge. Paddy Nealon from Roscommon. It's been quite a year from him. He took charge of the Alliance League final, which of course Kerry won, beating Dublin that day. And he refereed half a game last week up in Ulster. That great match in the semi-finals there, which Down won against Monaghan. The managers are ready. Eamon Fitzmaurice and Padder Healy adjusting his watch there. Big day for all concerned, and off we go. And straight away it is David Moran who wins the first possession here, trying to cut through. He's made a lot of ground, Moran, lays it off smartly, and that kick lands over the crossbar. The opening point after about 14 seconds. What a start. Paul Ganey getting the first point of the match.
Well, if that's a portent of things to come, sure, Cork need a look out. Great run from Moran, fabulous finish from Ganey.
And again they win this one, Kerry, to Tadhg Morley. Laid off as far as Donncha Walsh. Got 2 yellow cards in the semi-final against Clare, and Kerry down to 14 men before they'd even reached half-time in that match. This is back to the team captain, Fionn Fitzgerald. Carried forward here well. Paul Murphy now back in the half-back line, where of course he won an All-Star and an All-Ireland some 3 years ago now. In as far as Kevin McCarthy, getting an early touch. All the way across as far as Shane Enright. Switches position across to the right-hand side. Mikey Ganey, all Kerry in the opening few moments. Back in here as far as Anthony Marr. Everybody must have touched the ball nearly at this stage, and it's moving smartly, and it's Mikey Ganey to try and crack a second. What a start!
What a start, sure is right, but a most beautiful bit of interplay between Paul Ganey and Mikey Ganey. Watch the flick from Paul Ganey, sets it up beautifully for Mikey Ganey, who puts it over the bar. They look so fluent at the moment.
Just about got 90 seconds gone in this match. What a start for the Kingdom. Once again it is Paul Murphy who goes back to collect this, with Enright available to take it from him. David Moran now running into the first challenge from Paul Kerrigan, stopping his progress, fouling him. At least it stops the Kerry momentum, if only for a moment. Tadhg Morley. Mikey Ganey, who got that last point, is a cousin of Paul, so the two Ganeys from Dingle have been getting the early scores here for Kerry. Fionn Fitzgerald all the way back. The 2 men inside forward line for Cork at this stage, reading Niall Coakley and Paul Kerrigan. And Coakley is a debut man, so it's a real left side selection, that one. Here comes Mark Griffin. James O'Donoghue cracking one, looking to keep that momentum going. Terrific attack. 3 attacks so far by Kerry, 3 points. Who said they'd be complacent?
Oh, there's no way any sign of complacency here. That's devastating attacking play from Kerry. And on top of all of this, Jared, Cork are playing a kind of a blanket defence, but they're marking nobody. They're just marking space.
Kevin Crowley across as far as Michael Shields. They're looking for a little bit of stability now, just to try and get their hands on the ball and string a few passes together and set up a first attack. Shields again. Carried on here by Jamie O'Sullivan, retained somehow by Tomas Clancy. Trying to go past David Moran, needs a support player. That support player is Sean Powter. Back in here as far as James Lockery. The 2 cornerbacks notionally up on the attack inside the Kerry 45-metre line. Kerry deal with that very adequately, very composed, and once again just take that ball out of defence without very much trouble. All the way back as far as Mark Griffin it comes, and he's got Paul Murphy available. Very much play anywhere player. He had those couple of seasons where he was up around the number 11 position. Kicks it ahead towards Donncha Walsh. Second time to get his hands on the ball in this game. Back towards Anthony Marr. Kerry are absolutely lording it. Over to Kevin McCarthy. First Munster final for him. Beautifully down inside again to the man who got the opening point of this match. Paul Ganey onto the right this time. 4 attacks, 4 points.
Jerry, hardly seen any soloing whatsoever from Kerry. They're just getting the ball, moving it on quickly with the foot, coming up in great angles with wonderful support. That's exceptional forward play so far.
Well, it's exceptional from a Kerry point of view. Just wondering if there's going to be some kind of a Cork response pretty quickly before they allow Kerry to open up a huge gap. 4 scoring chances, they've taken each and every one of them.
Yes, and they're playing against the wind at that, year.
This time it's caught well by Aidan Walsh. Fouled. Did make a mark as well, but I think he was clipped. Anyway, the referee allows play to continue. It's Paul Kerrigan making inroads here against Enright. Kerrigan trying to steal a march. Not easy. Back it comes as far as Coakley. finally that ball is delivered and kicked by Rory Deane, and Deane has put the ball wide. First attack by Cork fails to produce anything. At least they are managing to get the ball up the other end.
Well, that's true, Jaron. That was a very easy opportunity that time for Rory Deane. He had loads of time, got it on his favoured foot, should have scored that.
Well, he'll be very, very pleased with the way this has started. Couldn't have started any better from a Kerry point of view.
Yeah, just watch the way Cork are pushing up at the moment on the Kerry kick-out, so this has to go long.
Well, Cork came here 2 years ago when Brian Cuthbert was in charge, and they played with a lot of intensity. Let's see if the men in the red shirts can do something about this scoreline, which sees them with a barren look on it so far. Back out here as far as Kevin McCarthy, ready to take off past Loughrey once again. James Loughrey out, just trying to hold McCarthy out there on the perimeter. It's James O'Donoghue who's making the run past Crowley. High challenge, then another challenge which the referee allows to continue, and a lot of Kerry fans thought that was a little bit too high and too physical. Play continues, no free was given. Out as far as Niall Coakley, 27 years of age now, first championship match. Ian Maguire, taken up again, once again by the corner forward, this time blocked down well by Peter Crowley. Kerry look so up for this game. They're sharp, they're incisive, they're really well fired up in every sense. Donegal Walsh, and the referee says he took too many steps this time. A puzzled look on the face of the Croman player.
There's no doubt about it, Jared. They are so sharp looking at the moment. They're getting great width on their attacks, great support play, and every one of them seems intent on really making the mark here today.
When that ball was coming out of defence, Cork had something like 8 defenders back inside their own 45-metre line. There aren't too many players to aim at up there, but here's one. Luke Connolly got the first point of the match, the only point that they got against Tipperary in the first half. Back to Rory Deane. Oh, that's a high challenge against him, this time by Kieran Donaghy. He's saying it was shoulder to shoulder. Referee Paddy Nealon doesn't concur.
No, I think it was shoulder to chest bone that time. Just watching, yes, full frontal, therefore free in for Cork. But Cork need to score this, Jared. They've been very tentative up to now, very unsure of the way they want to play, trying to get players behind the ball, but very, very, very few players up in attacking positions.
Well, certainly Kieran Donaghy felt it was a legit challenge. I'm sure Rory Deane didn't, and the referee goes this time in favour of the Cork man. So it's Luke Connolly is going to take it. Scorer of a goal and 2 points in his championship career up to this. This is only his third match. An important kick even this early in the game, and he hits it away to the left-hand side. 2 wides by Cork from their 2 attacks so far.
Yeah, but their scores they have to guard, their opportunities they have to take, Ger. That was in front of the goals, that was a win behind you. He should have got that one there at this level of football.
We saw Billy Sheehan there for a moment alongside Padder Healy. Billy, of course, Kerry man, coaching Cork. Mark Collins looking to try and get the opening score for Cork. Decent looking shot, and it's got over the bar. Good point by Mark Collins. It's taken them 8 minutes, but they're finally on their way in a scoring sense. Really good kick. Yeah,
I thought during the game against Tipperary it was Mark Collins that provided the inspiration for Cork in that game. I thought he was superb, and that's a point that Cork badly needed.
Well, he was brought on that day as a blood sub, scored, and then the selector said, well, as soon as there's a break, you'll go back on again, and he did. Made a big, as you say, significant contribution. Anthony Marr now. Mikey Gainey, totally unmarked. He came deep to get it, spraying the ball around very cleverly. Then an injection of pace by O'Donoghue. Donaghy involved, cleverly in as far as Kevin McCarthy. McCarthy is wrapped around there outside the 13-metre line, and that's going to be a free in. James Loughrey, last man to get himself up off the deck.
Yeah, that time actually James Loughrey, just watching, he stood his ground all right, and the number, I think it was a centre-half forward coming into him, actually ran into him, and maybe Loughrey a little bit unfortunate to have conceded that free. But just from a Cork defensive point of view, they're not tight on their men at all, Ger.
Didn't see any card being issued that time to James Loughrey. It's a free in, and it'll be James O'Donoghue to add to his tally. So a second point for him, and already it is 5-1.
And ominous at that.
Good to see James O'Donoghue back in action once again, injury-free this season. We know what a great player he is. What a dangerous forward line. That kick-out's gone straight to Anthony Marr, takes the mark. Well, that's the first of the kick-outs down the centre from Ken O'Halloran, straight to a Kerry man. They've had problems with those in the past, those kick-outs.
Yeah, that was quite a hard hit actually that Andy Maher took from Aidan Walsh. And I think the rule is, just watch it, gets him. But I think he took the belt on the ribs, so he's winded. And I think the rule states that the player who actually makes the mark is he who has to take the free kick.
Well, it's Anthony Maher, somewhat gingerly getting himself back up to his full 6'5" length once again. Decides to go short to his team captain from nearby Dr. Crokes, Fionn Fitzgerald. Lobbed in towards Gainey, that's Paul Gainey. Back to Paul once again, and the Dingle man tries to go through 4 Cork defenders. Dean was bending his back. I thought there was a foul there as the player was trying to pick it up. It's inside instead. Away towards Maher. Goalkeeper comes out. Back once again towards Donegal Walsh. They recycle through Maher once more and lay it in towards James O'Donoghue. Under a little bit of pressure, we find finally a very composed finish. Another lovely score. First for Anthony Maher, who was involved 3 times in that attack. And Kerry have already got 6 points, and they're only 11 minutes gone.
Yes, and they absolutely butchered the goaling chance there. They did 3-1, didn't avail of it. To a certain extent, Anthony Maher compensated for the missing, but getting a very good point.
Well, this one was aimed down towards Aidan Walsh, but really well caught by Peter Crowley. Climbed very well, but then was fouling. Free kick to Cork, which Mark Collins is preparing to take. Runs on towards Luke Connolly. Connolly challenging John Fitzgerald. Support from Ian Mcgrath, the bars man. Ian Mcgrath coming through here. They need a goal. Oh, it's not going to happen here because the goalkeeper very gleefully gets it into his hands, Brian Kelly. And in the end, the referee has a good look and decides that the goalkeeper was impeded and it's going to be a free out. It was a goal chance, though.
Goal chance, very encouraging from a Cork point of view, the way Maguire was able to knife through the Kerry defence that time, but the goalkeeper was definitely fouled, so it is correctly a free out to Kerry.
Well, that was how Ian Mcgrath came through with a lot of menace. Kerry able to take it away through Peter Crowley. Opts to go long. Cut out this time by Sean Powter. Powter came out quickly. Referee allows him an advantage. It's not going to accrue, so going to bring the ball back.
Yeah, Powder going 1-on-1 at the moment on Donegal Walsh. Actually, one of these players actually can play equally well up front if he's needed there.
Kevin O'Driscoll, one of 3 O'Driscolls. His brother Brian unable to line out because of a shoulder injury. Aidan Walsh in here towards James Lockery. Late challenge that time came from Tadhg Morley. Referee was allowing an advantage which was never going to come to anything, except a couple of injured bodies over there as they were all colliding.
Yeah, that's a pretty nasty collision, actually.
Last man up there is going to be Niall Coakley, who's originally from Carrigaline, but plays with St Jude's in Dublin.
Yeah, I think Niall Coakley and Shane Enright rather came together that time. I think Coakley has come out the worst of it, but maybe a little bit of encouragement that time, maybe in the sense that they got the ball forward. But they are so loose at the back at the moment. They're not going tight, and as a consequence, Kerry are managing to get the ball delivered very, very easily forward without any great pressure. Well,
early headaches for the Cork manager, Peadar Healy, in his 2nd year in charge. The selection of Niall Coakley was an interesting one. That was instead of Colm O'Neill, who hasn't had the best of seasons so far, but is a real danger man when he's in form, as we know. But the problems, as you suggest, Martin, are at the other end, where Cork's backs simply haven't been able to keep tabs at all on the Kerry forwards. This was the nearest Cork came to getting a goal. Goalkeeper did really well to get a little block on it, then got the second one before, as we saw, Coakley came down upon him, and the referee was blowing his whistle at that point and giving the free out. Close run thing, but not quite close enough.
Yeah, a little template there actually that Kerry or that Cork might go back to again is to get their midfielder Ian Maguire to run more at the Kerry defence.
But just over 13 minutes gone and you're 6-1 down. Here comes Mark Collins to see what he can do, and he can put it over the bar, so he's Cork's only scorer so far. First from play, that one from free. Very talented 27-year-old, plays for the Castlehaven club but is based in Douglas. Big catch once again taken by Maher. Anthony Maher, a towering figure, forward towards Donegal Walsh. Always on the move, always on the go, and Powter has got to have his hands full to keep tabs on him. Holds on too long this time. That's the 2nd time that call has gone against Donegal Walsh in this final. Free to Cork, which is taken quickly. Back out to Tomás Clancy. Michael Shields lost 4 matches in Killarney over the years in Munster Championship games against Kerry. Drew 2 here. Hasn't been a happy hunting ground for him or for Cork. This is towards O'Driscoll, and Kevin O'Driscoll drives this one wide, so it's a third wide so far. O'Driscoll has scored 3 points in the 2 Munster finals 2 years ago in 2015. One of the reasons probably why he was included today.
Yeah, but for a team that has been dismissed and derided to the extent that they have been, like Cork, I would have expected much more from them at the beginning of the game. Certainly to take the game to Kerry, that hasn't happened.
John Fitzgerald going backwards, back towards his full back, Mark Griffin. Only once put under pressure so far in this game. It's been mostly up at the other end. Donegal Walsh once again, where he goes, Sean Powter goes. And Powter from Douglas deemed to have committed the foul, which Donegal Walsh is ready to take. In fact, he's going to leave it in the end for his centre-back, Tadhg Morley. Well, this was a challenge coming in here, and Powter is just unyielding and won't give his man an inch.
A waspy little lad.
Sure is. Season for Wasps. James O'Donoghue back in here towards Kieran Donaghy, stumbling, challenged, fouled. Marked today by Jamie O'Sullivan.
Yeah, but they're very, very cheap frees to concede from a Cork point of view. Just watch it that time. That's a careless, head-high tackle. That's inexcusable for a defender to give away one as easy as that.
Well, it wasn't James O'Donoghue, it was Kevin Crowley who committed that.
Kevin Crowley, rather, yeah.
James O'Sullivan now goes back to pick up the tall Kieran Donaghy. James O'Donoghue has got 2 points so far, one of those from a free from this right-hand side with that very trusty left peg. So this will be point number 7. They're not in the mood to toy with Cork today. They look like they're just going to swat them away and dismiss them as quickly as possible. Take the cup and move on.
Yeah, they're ruthless actually so far. The forward play, particularly the inventiveness, the movement and the precision in their finishing.
Another Cork kick out that's gone straight to a Kerry man, Peter Crowley this time. And then as far as David Moran. Moran advancing, and Moran this time, this referee has decided, commits the offensive foul.
Yeah, he was charging that time, this time correctly, I think, against Jamie O'Sullivan, and correctly the decision.
Shoulder into the chest.
Yeah.
Down went Jamie. Cork trying to get the ball out of their own half of the field. Rory Dean down on the deck here. This well-manicured ground in Fitzgerald Stadium in great condition, always is. Kevin O'Driscoll now kicking this ball into a 2-man inside forward line, gets 3 markers. Picked up by Luke Connolly, over the head of Powter, in it goes. Kerrigan was hoping to get a favourable bounce, didn't happen. David Moran clears it out, and Kerry are able to deal with it all very calmly. Fionn Fitzgerald booting it along, putting the immediate pressure on the Cork backs because I think they are so vulnerable. Michael Shields, this time the ball was handled on the ground, I think, and the referee is giving a free kick to Kerry, which will be taken by Paul Gainey. Takes it very quickly in here as far as Donegal Walsh, trying to turn his man. This time gets away from Aidan Walsh, and this time puts the ball wide, but the referee's going to bring it all back. Free into Kerry.
The vulnerable jurors, their concentration is very, very poor, and on top of that, they're having to contend with great movement in the Kerry attack.
And great players at that, in that Kerry attack. A team that has already won silverware this year, of course, in Croke Park, beating the Dubs very narrowly, but they got that very important victory against Dublin in that Alliance League final. So they come here fired up, very confident in themselves, and an awful lot expected from them. And they are delivering today. Paul Gainey to take this free. It'll be from just outside the 20-metre line, and this will be point number 8. And we haven't even played 20 minutes. Taking maximum time. Good to have 2 free takers in your side from right and from left. Always so assured, always so clinical. 3 for Gainey, another for Kerry, who lead Cork by 6.
Yeah, and another factor actually is the role that Donaghy is playing. He's in the full forward at times, but he's also roaming quite a bit out around the middle of the pitch.
That time it's dropped by Kevin O'Driscoll under pressure, taken away by Paul Murphy. Cork are just not doing anything with their kickouts really, and they're having fierce trouble from the word go there. This is across as far as Kieran Donaghy. Donaghy challenged, still manages to do enough to keep it in play, but gives it away to Tomás Clancy. Now from here, can Cork build something? They've got a very big following people have travelled over the county bounds for this match today, expecting something from their team. They were awful against Waterford, but just managed to scrape through. Horrible in the first half against Tipperary, but won in the end, as you know. Something was expected from them. So far, they haven't really delivered. Luke Connolly has been fouled, and there's going to be a free in.
Yeah, needless foul again conceded by Fionn Fitzgerald, but just from the point of view of roles, Paul Murphy is actually taking up the sweeping role for Kerry and doing it very effectively.
Well, he's a player who can adapt to just about any challenge, I think. A referee calling out Fionn Fitzgerald. And I'm not sure, has he to be replaced temporarily? It looks like that. He's going across to receive a little bit of treatment, maybe not to have to leave the field. He's still there anyway. And this is kicked over the bar, and it's the first point of the championship for Niall Coakley. Good left-footed kick. Had to make sure of that, so 8-3. And Fionn Fitzgerald still over there on the sideline. They're going to attend to him. Haven't seen a replacement come on, so it must be something very temporary. This time Cork have won the Kerry kick-out, which is a little careless from Kerry's point of view. Luke Connolly sends it forward. Nicely taken up here by Coakley once again. Back to Aidan Walsh. Trying to go around several players. Dished off to Mark Collins. Coming into the picture here, Powter. Taking a return, Sean Powter. Only 19 years of age. In around 3 Kerry players. Back out to Coakley, who started it as a poor final effort. Comes to Griffin. Griffin's able to handle that. Link up with his goalkeeper, Brian Kelly. And the danger has been averted, at least momentarily. Back out it comes to the wings. And Paul Murphy, as ever, ready to start the next attack by Kerry. Lobbed forward by Anthony Marr. Mikey Gainey would need to have skates on, I think, to have managed to keep that one in play. Coakley taking the line ball. Back in as far as Kevin O'Driscoll. Moving forward. Marr goes after him. Now, how can they set up a meaningful attack here? With Kerrigan involved. Players on his shoulder. It's Maguire. This is promising. And that's finished with great assurance. Ian Maguire comes from midfield. Only his 3rd ever score in the championship. That's a goal and 2. Set up for him by Paul Kerrigan. Completed nicely by the St Finbarr's man.
Yes, that's the 3rd time he has come through from the middle of the field. David Moran is trailing in his wake. And Maguire is one big plus for Cork at the moment if he can get forward more often.
That's not a very good kick out either. Aidan Walsh to dump it over the bar maybe. The wind is swinging it away and it's gone wide. Started out okay, but the wind didn't do him any favours, and Kerry still lead by 8 points to 4. Peadar Healy will be a little bit more encouraged, I think. Last couple of minutes have been a good deal better.
Yes, and the last 2 kickouts from a Kerry point of view have been lost.
And this is the next one, and it's Rory Dean jumping, but the taller man, Anthony Marr, manages to take it into his hands securely. Leave it off to Donncha Walsh, trying to go by Sean Powter. Powter again sticking to him. Requires Kevin McCarthy to try and come in on the end line. McCarthy in his first Munster final. Feet were out, ball still in. Dangerous ball comes across here in the end, and the referee has blown a whistle for a foul that time by Kieran Donaghy.
Yes, that's very good defending that hand up by Loughery and by Sean Powter in that case. Very, very good tracking back and getting in front of the men.
Well, for the first 20 minutes or so, Kerry absolutely, utterly dominant. Scored 8 points so far, but when you look at the scoreboard now, there's only 4 between them. And here comes James Loughery to carry it downfield. And a lot of time to go in this match. Loughery requiring Michael Shields to slip it forward here as far as Kevin O'Driscoll, the Tyke McCorrick's player from West Cork. On his hands and knees, looking for a support player. Finds it through Mark Collins. Very clever operator. Shows good vision and awareness. Taking it back in here is Ian Maguire. Got that last point, leaving it off to Paul Kerrigan, the team captain. Dumped in the D, and that's going to be another free in and a chance to reduce the arrears to 3 points. Maybe Kerry are celebrating a little bit too early.
Well, they were slow to settle Cork, but they're getting a lot of inspiration at the moment. And this guy who I've mentioned a couple of times already, Ian Maguire, is showing wonderful leadership for such a young lad.
Played his best game, I thought, in a Cork shirt against Tipperary. Doing well here. Niall Coakley has pointed one with that left boot already from outside the D. Needs to make it. Makes it. It's 8-5
And I think we have a game on at the moment. At last, Cork have settled into it and are contesting very effectively, in particular around the middle of the pitch.
Brian Kelly lobs it into the middle of the park. There are a lot of tall Cork fellas there as well. And Ian Maguire has it. Uses his captain. Kerrigan looks up, fires it back in towards Luke Connolly, his clubmate at Nemo Rangers, and it went eventually off the feet of Fionn Fitzgerald. It's gone for a 45.
No, I think he actually called it wide, Ger. I think he called it wide. It came off the Cork attacker finally, even though Fitzgerald got his hands on the ball first. It hit the heel of the Cork attacker.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Thought he was raising his hand, waved his hands instead. Kick out to Kerry. 3-point game. And all of a sudden it's Cork who are attacking all of those Kerry kick-outs, and neither goalkeeper is having the kind of success with their kicks that they would wish.
No, from the Kerry point of view, the more effective of the two midfielders at the moment is Anthony Maher. He's the guy that should be trying a little bit more. He has a decisive height advantage over his marker, Rory Dean.
Mark Griffin now from St Michael's, Foilmore. Over here to Shane Enright. Ready to attack once again. Kevin McCarthy. Good shoulder back towards Morley. This time with Paul Murphy striking it in. Cleverly taken by James O'Donoghue. Wants to release it to Murphy. Here's a chance. Well saved by the goalkeeper. Paul Gainey denied. Good stop by Ken O'Halloran. That goal there would have been absolutely vital and critical in this match, you would feel, with Kerry already 8 points to 5 up.
Well, you had a blizzard of hand passes that time and great exchange of ball and a wonderful, wonderful Kerry attack through the middle. But Ken O'Halloran rose to it wonderfully. Just watch the save. Got down very well, got his right foot to it. Maybe the ball should have been placed a little bit more to the right or left of him. That's great goalkeeping.
And there's a Cork injury. One of their backs down injured. I think it might be James Lockery. It is James. Well, Ken O'Halloran is a very good shot stopper. Watch as this was building up here. James O'Donoghue setting it up, Paul Murphy involved, and it was Paul Gainey striking it at Ken O'Halloran, got down smartly. Ken, who's won his place back this year from Ryan Price, who is the substitute goalkeeper today. That was a really good stop and an important one as well. Paul Gainey denied. He was man of the match, remember, last year against Tipperary when he got 2 goals and 3 points. Looking for something similar today.
Yeah, but when they get forward, their forward play is so innovative and such wonderful fluency.
O'Donoghue carving his way through again, uses Crowley, takes it back again sensibly and cleverly. Back to Kevin McCarthy. Brother Mike. This time he's caught for overholding. His brother Mike was the winner of 5 Munsters. He's hoping to get his first one here today on the field of play.
Yeah, Maguire again, great tackling this side.
Kevin O'Driscoll lobs it down. It's 1 against 1 now. Down there. Full back does well and keeps it in play. Griffin goes after it. Coakley goes after him. Kerry have that situation under control once more in masterful fashion. Back out comes to Anthony Marr. Kerry looking for their next score. Mikey Gainey's got 1 already. Back in here beautifully. Kevin McCarthy has never scored in the championship. This might be the day to get his first. Takes a return beautifully from Donaghy. Sets an opportunity up here for the darting James O'Donoghue. Kicking it with the right magnificently over the bar. Hadn't scored for a little while. They have now. He's got 4.
That's an absolute huge shirt. Just a change of angle that time by O'Donoghue. So self-assured in the way he put that ball over the bar. Great movement of his man.
9-5.
There's no doubt about it, Ger. When Kerry get the ball into the Cork defence, their movement is just absolutely wonderful to watch. They get great width in their attack. They have so many variations. They can give it long to Donaghy. They're particularly using their half-forward line to great effect.
I think it's a blood sub here, Martin. It's Rory Dean is going off, and it's that man who has started so often, Alan O'Connor, coming on as a blood sub. Peter Crowley. There's a foul there by Mark Collins. This is well won by Shields. Here's Alan O'Connor. He can give the leadership. absolutely starred here in the 2015 drawn final. That's nicely down to Coakley, challenged vigorously, and the referee has decided over vigorously on the part of Peter Crowley. He's got to be careful. Referee's bringing him across to issue a caution. Coakley,
that's rash. That's
a
really
really
rash
was, and it's a yellow card.
Yeah, there was no need to take that. There was 2 Kerry defenders around them. Peter Crowley, not like him actually to do it, but rushed in very, very recklessly and gave away an unnecessary free and incurred a yellow card.
Well, it really was unnecessary. It was just a bit impetuous on his part. They've been playing very well up to this, and Kerry have a nice lead of 9 points to 5. Cork will have a free kick, which Luke Connolly is fancying taking. But it's going to be interesting to see if Alan O'Connor is retained in the middle of the park there, because he's one player who can certainly make a big impact on this fixture. There's no doubt in the world about that.
Yeah, and even from the point of view of actually going for restarts, Ger, he might be the one to actually go directly against Anthony Maher.
Focus of attention now is on Luke Connolly, and this kick from 40 metres, centrally positioned as you can see, and straight over the bar. They get it back to a 3-point game once again.
Yeah, when you consider the poor starter they had, like when they went 4 points in very, very, very short time, they've recovered very well, and they're now pressing the Kerry kickouts.
They look like they were a bundle of nerves, quite frankly. And that's out as far as Tadhg Morley. It wasn't outside the 45, so it's not a mark. That's returned from Fionn Fitzgerald to his goalkeeper, Brian Kelly. Kelly from the Killarney Legion Club. Worked away through Shane Enright. And incrementally they'll be able to work it up the field here. They're mixing it very nicely between short and long passing. Fionn Fitzgerald again. At his ease, almost planting it across there into the hands of Mikey Gainey. Enright takes control again. Into Marr. Anthony Marr slips it forward to the dangerous James O'Donoghue. His marker is Kevin Crowley. O'Donoghue's already got 4 points. 2 of those were from frees. This is back to Gainey, who's got 3 points, 2 from open play. O'Connor was trying to intervene. Back came James O'Donoghue. Slips it forward. Anthony Marr, not sure what he was trying to do there, but it didn't quite work out as he was hoping to link up with Paul Murphy, but the pass was too short. Fans getting vexed with some of the decision making. In the end, it's a line ball, and it's taken by Paul Kerrigan for Cork.
Well, that's wonderful determination that time from the sub Alan O'Connor.
Taken out of defence here by Aidan Walsh. A bit like old times with Aidan Walsh and Alan O'Connor in the middle of the park for Cork. Work downfield towards Luke Connolly. Foul by Connolly. Free kick for Kerry coming up with about 2.5 minutes to go to half-time. Kerry, the dominant force for most of this opening half. Got away to a great start. It's only when they relaxed their grip and made some silly kick-outs that didn't work in their favour that Cork were able to get back into it. Kerry pressing forward again. McCarthy back in towards James O'Donoghue. Lets it beat him and takes off it once again. Tries to round Lockery. Ball comes back to Donaghy, captain a couple of years ago. Back in towards McCarthy. Back to Donaghy. He scored in the 2015 final. A goal there. He's got a point here. 4 of the forwards have scored now at this stage, and Anthony Marr, so they're doing very nicely, and Kerry are leading by 10 points to 6.
Yeah, that's delightful composure that time by Donaghy, and it must be said by Kevin McCarthy. Donaghy could have gone for a goal, did the safe thing, took the point. Kerry go another point ahead.
This time Aidan Walsh comes in, challenges for it. Collins did enough to keep it in Cork possession via Paul Kerrigan. Kerrigan slaloming his way forward, trying to link up with Tomas Clancy, succeeds in that, gives it back to Ian Maguire. Maguire thought about taking on David Moran. Back it goes instead to Mark Collins, looking to add to the 2 points he's got already, but that's well wide of the target, and that is a 4th wide now. Rather correction, I think it's a 6th wide.
Yeah, Cork in particular, early in the game, once Kerry gone 4 points ahead, had a couple of great chances to actually settle themselves down and get points in the scoreboard. They regret those going in at half-time. They're 4 down, they should only be 2 down.
There could be 2 additional minutes played, we understand, at the end of the opening half here. Kerry will be happy enough with their day's work so far. There were those who said they might just relax their grip on their title. They're going for 5 in a row. And they are the business and meaning business in every possible sense. This time, Powter showing he's not going to be overwhelmed. Mark Collins, all the way across as far as Kevin Crowley. Back to Shields. Cork looking to get maybe one more score before the break. Jamie O'Sullivan. Crowley carrying it forward. Kerry getting a lot of bodies back. Cork keeping a lot of bodies back at the same time, by the way. You look at the full pitch here. They're slow to get players forward. Now finally it's Tomás Clancy is beginning to join the attack, bit by bit. Feeling a tiny bit more confident to take a risk. Maguire back to Clancy once again. Now can he point from here? He's capable of doing it. That looks good.
Oh, that's beautiful.
That is a beautiful kick, you're right. Tomás Clancy from Fermoy. Only his second ever championship point. It's another one for Cork. 3 points the margin once again.
Okay, patience is the name of the game. That time you're going laterally, but at the end result was fantastic. Maguire the assist, Clancy the point.
John Fitzgerald. Just over a minute still to go of added time. Luke Connolly being very ambitious this time, and the wind sweeping it away, and his shooting inaccurate as well, so stays at 10-7.
Yeah, but the reason he went for that, he had nobody inside whatsoever. All the Cork players are playing outside the 45-metre line.
Kerry quite happy just to take control of things here inside their own 45. Build in stages, confident in their own ability to take on any challenge that Cork might present. Paul Murphy is presenting quite a challenge now. Up to 13 metres, lays it off here. O'Donoghue leaving it off to Gainey, and the other twin axis puts it over the bar. Paul Gainey, lovely play there. They combined superbly. Luke Connolly was chasing after one of the attackers, lost his way completely, and in the end it was a combination of O'Donoghue and Gainey, and between them they have got 8 points in this match so far. 11-7. Jamie O'Sullivan for Cork, letting it in, but there's only one man in there. Half-time has arrived here in Killarney. It's very definitely advantage Kerry. They've been by far and away the better team. They settle, they show their excellence up front. They have the Cork defence in all kinds of difficulty. Eamon Fitzmaurice has to be really, really pleased. Problems for Peadar Healy. He knew what to expect coming here to Killarney, where at half-time the scoreline reads Kerry 11, Cork 7. We'll be hearing the views of Joe and Colm in Croke Park with Michael right after this.
We have reached the halfway point in this year's Munster football final. Kerry are, of course, leading Cork by 11 points to 7. And there is confirmation of that scoreline, and of course the guys who got the scores in that first half. The first half in which Kerry started off really well, Cork coming into it towards the end of that half. Let's see what Joe and Colm thought about all of that. Interesting for, well, an odd kind of first half in many ways, Colm, because it was really boring for the first 10 minutes, but it began to kind of liven up.
Yeah, well, we were beginning to worry after 10 minutes that this was going to be a rout.
Yes.
Because Kerry started off playing champagne football, lovely touches, ball flicked here and 4 points to nothing up, and you feared for Cork. But in fairness to them, they've got stuck in and they're beginning to get to grips with Kerry now. Their alarm bells go up every time Gainey and James O'Donoghue have the ball up front. But in fairness to Cork, fellas like that Sean Powter, there's a bit about him. He's got stuck into Donncha Walsh and he's given him a right hard time. Yeah. Ian Maguire in the middle of the field has been very good. Yeah. So there is signs of a Cork revival. The danger signals, though, are that Kerry might get a goal, and the Cork forward line does not look near as potent as the Kerry forward line.
Yeah. Cork's revival was such, once they really started to get stuck into them, that they were making it very, very difficult in the kickouts. At one stage they won 3 out of 4 Kerry kickouts, converted that into 2 or 3 scores. And the only difference at half-time is that early 4-point blitz from Kerry. And don't forget, Cork had a brilliant goal chance earlier, before Kerry's goal chance. And they sort of messed it up. And that's really the only difference, is the composure when it comes to sticking the ball over the bar. Because Cork are competing very well in every aspect of the game.
Yeah, but the big problem, the last 10 minutes of the game, again, Cork allowed Kerry take short kick-outs, I think 5 in a row. What are they at? They should be pushing up right up the field. They have to take chances. You know, they cannot just sit back and hope.
They've got the problem, which is that when they push up fully, then they're exposing themselves at the back. You know, and it's also very exhausting to push up fully throughout the game. And in fairness, Cork's running game through the middle is very, very energy sapping.
Yeah,
so you know, there are trade-offs to be made.
But
because the problem is what you know, you can't leave Kerry's inside forwards to play man-to-man. It's just going to be devastation.
Yeah, but Cork are 4 points behind. There's nothing to be lost for now. Pushing up and taking chances.
They've just had some bad options.
Cork are 4 points behind, having given Kerry a free start in the game, which is always I think fascinates us as to.
Yeah, you must be brave in a game like this, and of course it starts off from the throw-in with David Moran running through. Gainey comes around on the loop, and for him that's just bread and butter to do that every night in Killarney. So, and with simple stuff, beautiful foot passing, and then the beautiful flick off there, and there's always a runner coming in, and James O'Donoghue too looks as if he's back to something like his best form. And Mark Griffin coming up the field, and again, the players who get the ball always give it to the scorers. You don't see Kerry fellas trying, say the backs trying for spectacular points. They always look for the inside men and make life easy for them. Look at Gainey here. Again, the slickness of his move and a beautiful point.
3 minutes in and it's 4-0 and you're thinking to yourself, Dublin, Westmeath, you know, is this going to be? So Cork have got hammered into them, and it's been very, very gratifying to see it. And the game's a real proper game now. And Colm is right, of course. If Kerry get a goal, then they stretch away. But if Cork take the chances that they're creating for themselves, I mean, Kerry haven't had a single wide. Cork have had 6 wides, and 4 of those were poor wides. Poor shot selection. I mean, at one stage, the young Cork full forward had a great chance to pop the ball over the bar, and he dribbled it into the keeper's arms. So things like that are sapping them.
All right, we are headed for a break here on the Sunday game. But don't go anywhere, because coming up shortly, we will be giving you the chance to win a nice break to London. It is half-time in this year's Munster football final, and it is Kerry leading Cork by 11 points to 7. We're in the dancing break at the moment here on the programme, but Cork did have a chance in that first half. Because it's 4 points in a column, but they had a goal chance, Cork.
Yeah, and I do agree with you, Michael. Joe is the right man for that dancing now when the winter comes.
Heads are going to roll here.
Except for Marty.
You're gone after today.
We're back with you.
He's gone after today.
Ian Maguire goes through there, gets it down, and one of the Kerry backs on the line. And I thought for a while here that the goalkeeper could have been, but I think it shows that he was fouled initially. It was a brilliant goal chance, and it just shows that the Kerry backs have been open enough at times. But Maguire, to me, has brought the fight to Kerry and has been very good in that game. So I think that Cork need to drive at them. Forget about this cautious approach.
Absolutely.
You know, throw caution to the wind. They need to go at them. They need somebody to really drive into them. Somebody like Sonny Bill Williams, they could have got him. He's not needed in New Zealand at the moment.
He's
drive
break
forward.
for a week.
This is it. They go for it now. Push up and go for it. Go for it. Leave nothing behind. Kerry are vulnerable through the centre. This Kerry team, since they started out under Fitzmaurice, they have always given you opportunities through the centre. If you drive through the centre and if you time your runs. Now, one thing that Cork are very good at is timing the run off the man's shoulder, so that timing the run is everything. And if you do that in the modern game, because you're not allowed to body check any longer, you're going to be able to punch holes. Look what Down did last week. I mean, look what Tyrone are able to do, for example, when they go up to full steam. So, I mean, Cork need to... They're very, very good at this. The goal they scored against Tipperary, the way they played 2 years ago, there are shades of that now. They need to get wired into this, because there's no tomorrow. This is it.
But I suppose, in fairness, having shown the Cork goal chance, Kerry did have a goal chance as well.
They did.
Now, the keeper did well here, but they were very close.
Yeah, well, again, this quick hands,
Time
James
of the run
O'Donoghue to Paul Murphy. And if you wanted anybody in the country to get the ball with the goalkeeper to beat, it would be Paul Ganey. I think half the country have probably backed him for the first goal scorer.
He hadn't much time though, Colin. His angle was narrowed very quickly by the defender.
James Lockery came in very quickly on him. Fair play to Lockery. He covered him off. But Ganey normally slots those. They're bread and butter for him.
Okay, look at you lads are talking about Cork need to throw caution to the wind and get stuck into the game.
Not so much caution to the wind, but get absolutely wired into it.
I know what you mean. Yeah, but I mean, look, let's be realistic here. What are the chances of that's happening?
What's it got to do with realism?
No, I'm not saying
they wouldn't come and play the game at all.
But I'm saying
the
way football is played here at the moment.
Yeah, championship football has nothing to do with realism.
But that's the idealistic view.
It's not. But no, what's the actual view? If you don't, I mean, people misinterpret.
You think the Cork managers in the dressing room now saying, "Go on, let's go out and slag it."
Wired into them. I mean, people misinterpret the Jim McGuinness project, for example. They think that it was all about conservatism and defending. They went for you. They went for the junk. They overwhelmed you psychologically and physically. They were on you. You couldn't do anything. They were, they just climbed inside your head, and that's what Cork need to do. They need to keep fighting here,
and
they don't need to drop off. Column's right. Whenever they dropped off, it was a safety valve for Kerry, because Kerry will hold the ball all day long in the second half.
They need to go for goals. Go for goals. Go for goals. Go for goals. That's the thing about now.
Not even that, Colin.
The cost of that is that they're going to leave themselves slightly exposed at the back. And like Ganey and O'Donoghue, they'll only need to get one ball up and they'll stick it in the net. But there is a sense of bravery attached to going for the game. And I don't think Cork are a backdoor team. They've shown that over the last few years. Once they're out of the championship, the club scene. So it's more than just a Munster final for them. It's survival for the summer is at stake here. They need to come out of this game, even if they don't win it, with a sense of self-respect, which easily ebbs away if you don't actually get stuck into a game.
Look at the
We have Donoghue O'Connor, by the way, coming on for Cork in the second half. But I'm also I can't get away from the fact that in their previous match against Tipperary, we were showing it a little bit earlier on. I mean, it took Cork until the last minute or two of the game to actually rescue the game.
But they finished the game with great style and great courage. It was a brilliant goal, and they went for the goal. Every man was tuned into it. And we've seen at times in the first half when they ripped through the centre of that Kerry defence, Kerry have had to resort to fouling to stop them coming through. And the important thing is that I disagree with Colm. I wouldn't be going bald-headed for goals, because you'll end up in a situation like Armagh did in the first half against Down, when they became fixated on goals because they were creating sort of half chances. Look, you snap your scores. Should it be a point, a goal, whatever it is, you just keep the scoreboard ticking over. That's the important thing.
Cork are not going to win the game, Joe, without getting goals. They're not going to outpoint Kerry.
If they had kicked 3 or 4 easy points in the first half,
a goal or two would help, wouldn't it? Yeah. All right, as you can see, teams heading out for the second half. So let's head back to our commentary team in Killarney, to Ger Canning and Martin Carney.
Thank you, Michael. Yes, as you've been noting there, Donegal O'Connor has come on. And Donegal is one man they have turned to time and again over the years. He's 36 years of age now, but his record is quite significant. He's got 12 goals and 146 points to his credit in a fantastic career. He's gone in at quarter forward here. Mark Griffin is picking him up immediately. The man who's made way has been Niall Coakley. His debut in the championship lasted 35 minutes. A little bit of jostling in the middle of the park between Marr and Ian Maguire. The referee set to go, Paddy Nealon, the chairman of the county board in Kerry, who is Peter Twist, tells me that his daughter Niamh is watching this in Cambodia. Her team are 4 points up, start of the second half. And straight away Kerry managed to get their hands on the ball once again, and it's Mikey Gady once more, all the way down towards Kieran Donaghy. Donaghy trying to make some inroads here against Jamie O'Sullivan. Kerry just holding it up here now, all the way back towards Anthony Marr. Kerry would have subbed themselves as well, having brought Stephen O'Brien in. He's one man that can certainly add an extra bit of pace to their half-forward line. Got a goal and a point, of course, against Clare in the semi-final when they were playing that game with only 14 men for half of it. Here he is, Stephen O'Brien, first chance, cracks a beauty. What a substitution that is. What a time to bring him on.
Yes, beautiful chair. Great score from Stephen O'Brien. I noticed actually Sean Powder has gone over in the other wing to Mark Michael Ganey. This guy here, O'Brien, great pace, great accuracy. That was a good score to settle him. Did very well for his club, of course, during the winter. Was very heavily involved in that start for Ken Mayer.
as they became Munster club champions in their grade. Free kick for Cork, which is going to be taken by Michael Shields. Only downside for Kerry, I suppose, during the match so far has been a 10-minute spell between the 19th and 29th minute when they didn't get among the scores. Ken O'Halloran's been a bit adventurous. Eventually he double hops and there's no goalie, and Kerry have it. David Moran, surrounded by Cork players, tries to boot it up and over the bar and get a second one at the start of the second half, and he succeeds. Folly in the extreme by the goalkeeper to come out like that. It's hardly necessary.
Well, that's awful indecision by the goalkeeper. Nobody moving for him, in all fairness, but my God, when you see a goalkeeper 60 metres out from his own goals over on the sideline, that is actually footballing suicide.
Well, it was 4 and it's now 6, the margin. And Kerry once again starting the second half as they commence the opening 35 minutes, except it's O'Brien this time, and he punches it over. 3 inside the opening 2 minutes and 15 seconds. 2 for Stephen O'Brien.
Well, I never see sort of, tiring of watching Kerry, and their ability to improvise is really a joy, but at the moment Cork are making it very, very easy for them.
Well, I don't think the Cork fans here in pretty substantial numbers, Martin, are seeing the joy in all of this just now, but Kerry are playing wonderfully well. His team really turning on a performance. But as Colm and Joe were saying at half-time with Michael, Cork need to be brave at this stage. They've got to give it a go if they're going to get anything at all from this match. Right now, they're being outgunned in the middle of the park. And Kevin McCarthy is setting up a chance here, and it could be finished. Walled, stopped by the goalkeeper this time, made amends from James O'Donoghue. O'Donoghue goes back and plants it over the bar, as in the first half. 4 points reeled off almost immediately by Kerry.
Yeah, we haven't 3 minutes gone, Gerard. It's a case of deja vu. Kerry started with 4 points in the first couple of minutes. 4 points now, more or less putting the game to bed, unless Cork can go down, get a couple of scores. But they need to first of all settle and get possession around the middle of the park.
Cork have responded by bringing Alan O'Connor back on. He's now on as a full sub for Rory Deane. Came on as a temporary earlier on. So the 2 men who were involved as part of the 2010 All-Ireland winning team against Down are in there now. The 2 O'Connors, not related of course, except in a football sense, Donnacha and Allen. And Cork haven't managed to get the ball inside the Kerry half just yet. They are now, first time in the second half they've managed to get that far forward, and we're 4 minutes in, and it's Tomas Clancy. Clancy, this is a goal chance. What a goal! Or is it? No, it's in the side netting. Oh dear. There were Cork fans on their feet here. They were convinced that was gone in. But it's the netting and not the back of the net that he managed to hit. Tomas Clancy with a wonderful run forward. Just look at this again here. Coming forward, huge gap opened up for him. Yeah, just outside, however.
Yeah, and the boys highlighted at half-time the kind of the porousness of the Kerry defence, how easy it is to get through them. That time though, Clancy went for the near side. That is a bad miss. That is something that would have restored Cork's confidence had they got it.
Kerry about to make another change, we understand, and Johnny Buckley is going to be coming in for them. Things going very nicely. Let off at one end, chance to dominate once again and carry that ball forward through Mark Griffin once more. Griffin deciding to hell with the full-back row, going into midfield, into Donaghy. Kieran Donaghy as far as Paul Murphy, and Murphy lets a beauty in and over the bar. First of the day for Paul Murphy, now operating as a left half back. Kieran Donaghy very heavily involved at the start of that. 5 in a row now by Kerry. Such an impressive start to the second half. And on comes Johnny Buckley at number 21.
Yeah, what is very interesting actually about the Kerry attack is their option taking, Ger, is exceptional. Some of those points are from distance, some of them as a consequence of quick interpassing, and some of them just by direct play. That's very, very good football.
More changes happening. Colm O'Driscoll has come on in place of Michael Shields for Cork. So that's 2 O'Driscolls now. There were 3 of them playing here some 2 years ago, so off goes Shields, disappointed. Another bad day at Killarney would appear. This is Kevin O'Driscoll making the mark, getting the ball forward. It bounces kindly for Paul Kerrigan, and Kerrigan deemed to have pushed his man. Hasn't scored so far today, the Cork captain.
A little bit unlucky, I thought, that time, Ger. I think he was going hard for the ball with Shane Enright. Maybe he used his body somehow, but I thought it was a soft enough free.
The Cork management in the background there, not one bit happy with that particular decision by Paddy Nealon. Free kick to Kerry. They attack again in front of an attendance of 31,836. They get it down as far as James O'Donoghue, taking on Loughry. One James against another, and this one has gone wide. And that is their first wide of this match. Crede Nuno Cred, after 42 minutes.
That is quite incredible, Ger. You know, but the quality of the football again, the foot passing, first time foot passing, ability to run into space is just of an exceptional quality.
That time it was Alan O'Connor coming, but there was a foul over there anyway, which the referee has spotted. Kerry leading 16-7. Cork yet to get a score in this second half, and we're 7 minutes into the half. Alan O'Connor, they're going to need goals. Near miss a little while ago there with the one that went into the side netting and not the back of the net. And it's Sean Powter who takes off. They're flying after him. Buckley's trying to catch him. Powter, quick on his feet. Now good balance. Great block down by Buckley. Oh, that's commendable defending there. Great little run forward by Sean Powter, but credit the substitute, Johnny Buckley. He wasn't going to give up on it, and just look at the exquisite timing here. Had to go at him there, and again, and then here, block, brilliant. Super defending.
Yeah, when you think about it, he was trailing in Powder's wake for quite a bit of that, but persevered with it, got goal side of Powder, executed the block. That's setting a wonderful example for the rest of his team.
Donnacha O'Connor has the free kick from 13 metres, first point of the second half, first for Donnacha O'Connor as well. A mild cheer from the Cork fans here, who have to be absolutely bitterly disappointed to be behind at this stage by 8 points. So what can the management and what can his team do about it? All the way out here as far as Anthony Marr. Kicked in as far as Mikey Gainey. Marr again, just trying to control the tempo of the game at this stage. That's not controlling it, that's giving Cork a chance to get it back. But down towards Donaghy, came down from the clouds and he was waiting. And then the ball was touched on the ground and it's going to be a free out to Cork. Yeah. Momentary relief for them.
Yeah, the crowd were really anticipating a big fetch that time from Donaghy. Unfortunately, from his point of view, touched on the ground.
Loughry sets Cork going again with Aidan Walsh dragged down. Fouled that time by James O'Donoghue, limps away from it. Referee brings the ball forward. Free kick which Mark Collins is going to take. Inside towards Luke Connolly, back here towards Paul Kerrigan. Kerrigan. Oh, well stopped. And this time there's another chance to keep it moving, and it's fisted over the bar. Cleverly done. Donnacha O'Connor has got a second.
Yeah, picking up the rebound that time. That's another good goaling opportunity missed by Kerry, but good save. You've got to credit Brian Kelly. Possibly the ball is hit very centrally, but okay, Donnacha O'Connor picked up the crumbs, but that should be, or could have been, 2 goals for Cork and a half.
Substitution in the Cork team.
24 coming on is Michael Hurley. Well, the one thing about Michael Hurley is that he will run at you as a defender, and Kerry will be ready for that. He's a young player, just 21 years of age. Brother Brian, of course, unable to play because of injury. Another Castlehaven man. Player going off, Kevin O'Driscoll, who didn't have the best of days. But then again, you can say that about quite a few of his colleagues.
Yeah, and one of the joys that Cork have had today is the likes of Sean Powder running hard at the Kerry defence, and maybe he can get some, help from Hurley by doing the same thing.
This looks very serious now. Concern on the faces there of Eamon Fitzmaurice.
Yeah, I didn't see what happened there, Ger.
He's got Podrick Corcoran there, and backroom team of Mikey Sheehy, Liam Hassett and Maurice Fitzgerald. Everybody concerned about the injured Kerry player. And it's sad to see the stretcher come out.
Yes, quite a serious injury. It's the oxygen being applied also, and that is a serious injury. That'll cause Eamon Fitzmaurice a lot of concern.
Banner Healy there with Eamon Ryan, just trying to discuss what they might do. It's Fionn Fitzgerald, I think, who is in trouble, and it's going to be number 22 who comes on, the familiar figure of Killian Young.
Yeah, I didn't see what happened that time. He must have twisted his knee, but there's no doubt about it. Whatever injury he has, he's gone for the rest of this game. Looks very serious.
Well, there's a lot of concern, as you can imagine. Let's just have a look at this again here. That's Fionn Fitzgerald going in there, and he collided. It was an accidental challenge as he was coming across, hit his own man.
Yeah, whatever it was, there was absolutely no malice in it whatsoever. I think it was a clash with his own man, I should say, and unfortunately from his point of view it's going to mean his departure from the game. But just, you know, the Cork defence are getting no respite whatsoever from the Kerry attack since the beginning of the second half, and Cork are making it easy for them as well, Ger. They're not pulling back a sweeper that might help their cause somewhat, but it's just you know, the game is beginning to drift away from Cork, and the fact also that they have scored 2 goal scoring opportunities certainly not helping the cause.
Well, there's been quite a difference between the two teams. This is that goal moment a few moments ago now at this stage. He came that close to squeezing it in. Thought for a moment he had done so, but it was the side netting instead for Tomás Clancy, who's never scored a goal in the championship. Got a point earlier on. But we are seeing a difference. We've got to bear in mind, Cork have spent the early part of this year functioning in Division 2 of the Alliance League, and they expected a good performance from them in that, and possible promotion back to Division 1. It didn't happen. The other end of the scale, you've got Kerry, who were top of the table and won the league. From Kerry's point of view so far, there's 16 points in this match, made up of 13 from play, 3 of them from frees, and they have been very clinical there. They very nearly got the first goal for them. Haven't got a goal so far in the match, but in the end, James O'Donoghue made sure that he got something out of that, got a point. They're so assured, so decisive in everything that they do. They look a class apart, quite frankly, here in Killarney.
Yeah, and from a Cork point of view, I think in particular around the middle of the field, their passing and their playmaking is very torturous. It's quite lateral at the far too often. And to be fair, the 2 lads inside, Donegal O'Connor and Paul Kerrigan, they're not making enough running off the ball. Like when you contrast that with the movement of Paul Ganey and James O'Donoghue, who have been lightening off their men, who have been giving all kinds of options to their outfield players, Cork by comparison are on their heels.
Well, still the manager and coaches look on, waiting until the medical personnel have done their job, making sure that Fionn Fitzgerald's okay and that the injury is very, very well attended to, which indeed it is. And we wish him a very speedy recovery. Probably have a bit of a headache tomorrow, but I'm sure we'll see him back very, very quickly. Killian Young coming on. You saw there a moment ago that we were promoting the second big match here today, which is the Leinster Hurling final. That's coming up at 4 o'clock, Croke Park, where it will be Wexford against Galway. So not to be missed. On comes Killian Young. Very experienced player, now 30 years of age, 56th championship appearance for the Renard player. It was quite a long hold up there. Yes. Reminder, it's 16-9.
Yeah, they're taking huge care and attention for Fionn Fitzgerald. I'm not sure, we haven't really got a close-up of him, thankfully, but it could be a head injury. So
it is, I think it looked like a head injury, didn't it?
Yeah.
And again, the referee just making sure that everybody has time aplenty to attend to the stricken right corner back who captained Kerry today, who's having a great year, won the club All-Ireland, of course, on Patrick's Day with his club, Dr. Crokes, just across the road from here. And they'll be happy to see their number 2 back. Looking forward ahead now at this stage to an All-Ireland quarter-final, barring something unpredictably special from Cork for the remaining 20 minutes of the match. Deserved round of applause for the injured Dr. Crokes man. Kerry's captain, Fionn Fitzgerald, stretchered off.
I know there's actually Ian Maguire out in the middle of the field with David Moore, and they're certainly getting to know one another up close and personal.
I haven't a clock on it, but I imagine that's a 5-minute delay.
Oh, at the very least, yeah. at the very, very least. Like, we have 60 minutes gone in the half, and I say that has taken up at least 5 minutes.
Well, they're being very, very careful just to take him down, get him straight to the ambulance and straight to hospital. Just an accident, one of those things that can happen anywhere, but often happens on a football field. Referee has a quiet word, David Moran and Ian Maguire. Kerry by 7 points. There were 4 ahead at half-time, which, considering their dominance, didn't seem like an awful lot. Maguire jumping, more in there as well, but it's taken down absolutely brilliantly by Johnny Buckley. 2 great pieces of action by him. He made that intervention a little while ago on Powter. A great catch there, setting up a chance here for Paul Gainey. Gainey kicking it off his left, under pressure, too much pressure. It's not even gone wide yet, but it is now very, very wide indeed.
Yeah, I think Johnny Buckley...
Second wide.
Yeah, Johnny Buckley would be very keen to kind of get back on the starting 15. I think, isn't he team captain, Ger? As far as I know,
yeah.
He is. And that's a wonderful fetch under pressure.
Well, it's a Dr. Crokes call because, of course, they are the county and indeed All-Ireland club champions. He's in there in the half-forward line at this stage, being marked by Tomas Clancy. Comes out here, straight to Peter Crowley. Another poor kick out. James O'Donoghue drills it into Donaghy, trying to get away. This is James O'Donoghue again. He started the move, he can finish it. There's a little block on it. It's gone for a 45.
Well, he's such a menace every time he gets the ball. A lovely link up with himself and Kieran Donaghy that time. Beautiful, beautiful movement from O'Donoghue, but unfortunately from his point of view didn't finish it off with a score. But I think he's got the 45, you should say.
You can credit Kevin Crowley for a lot of that, because he got in that late challenge with the number 7, did really well, got down smartly.
Yeah, but one of the criticisms what I would have of the Cork defence, Ger, is that they're not going tight enough on James O'Donoghue. Right from the word go, he's got point after point. Some of them in the first half, I think 4 he got in the first half. Some of them are exceptional. But again, in all fairness, not under pressure for quite a number of them.
One of the players that Eamon Fitzmaurice might have been concerned about for Cork would be Owen Cadigan, who hasn't played at all in football this year, but he's back on the bench today, and he's one defender who has done a job in Cork Kerry matches in the past, but I think they feel he just hasn't got enough football played this season. It's got to be Mikey Gainey to hit this. Got a point very early on in the game. So the 27-year-old from Ondangan. Hitting it well. Hitting it very, very well. Caught it so crisply, hit it so confidently, straight as you could wish. 79 now.
79 is starting to really drift away from Cork. They need to get a couple of scores very quickly to get themselves back into this.
Fisted back down by Anthony Marr, in spite of the tension there of Alan O'Connor. Peter Crowley setting it up here. Running onto it is Mikey Gainey, having taken the 45, trying to come in along the end line here and trying to get himself free of the clutches of James Lockery. Referee quickly on his case, and the foul noted.
Yeah, but the formula for Kerry is very, very simple.
It wasn't Lockery, it was actually Powter.
Powter, that's right. But what they depend on is quick movement, good movement of the ball and quick delivery of the ball. And the interaction between deliverer and receiver is wonderful.
James O'Donoghue has kicked the second of the second half. He's kicked the 6th in all. And Kerry lead by double scores.
And deservedly so. They're by far the superior team, and unless Cork get a score or 2, we're just going to have another landslide.
Touched on by Aidan Walsh as far as Alan O'Connor, held in possession, so it's going to be a quick free. Only goals will allow Cork to get anywhere near to Kerry at this stage. Paul Kerrigan might have thought about a point. He's still thinking about it. He's hoping that the wind will do him a favour and curl it in. It comes off the post.
That's an absolute beauty. I thought it was going away wide on the right-hand side, but an indication of how strong the wind is and the direction of the wind is taking, kind of, is easily observed that time. The ball just was taken in by the wind, off the post. Good score by Kerrigan.
Yeah, the post obliging him there. It's going to be a line ball once again to Kerry.
Yeah,
Killian Young to take.
Yeah, when it came here today, I expected much tighter to constructed Cork defence, but we haven't had that.
Tig Morley setting off. After him goes Mark Collins. This is a dangerous one in here with Donaghy around. Touched out, however, by Kevin Crowley. Plucky play on the part of the left half back. And then it's Colm O'Driscoll, his first touch since coming on. Carried forward there by Tomás Clancy. Aidan Walsh next. On his left shoulder was Kerrigan. Fired in here. One for Luke Connolly to go running after as best he can. Hope he can keep it in play, but unable to do so.
No, that was a nothing ball that time. Nobody in the full forward line for I think Kerrigan to put the ball to, but very, very disappointing outcome.
Well, they can't keep tabs on Kerry's attackers down at one end, having difficulty winning any kind of decent ball or consistent ball in the middle of the park. So there's really no chance for the forwards, except when a Kerry player puts the ball unnecessarily out over his own end line, as Killian Young did there, and concedes a 45. So it gives Luke Connolly a chance to see whether he can kick in towards the breeze and put it over the bar. Well, he's got the breeze behind him right now because the wind has changed directions. So maybe this will make it a slightly easier kick. The error there by Killian Young. He's pointed one free in the first half. 18 points to 10. Can he get another one for Cork and give us more of a match? Up into the air, but couldn't quite curl in this time. Didn't quite happen. It's 9 wides now by Cork. Well, that was a bit of a gift anyway, because Killian Young had knocked it out over his own end line. Well, another Kerry star in the making coming on, who played in the last match. That's Jack Barry, and he's coming on in place of Anthony Marr.
I think actually Amos Fitzmaurice at this stage can afford to run down his bench and give a lot of the inexperienced players an opportunity to play in the Munster final.
Well, Jack Barry played against Clare, has played most of the season so far, very prominent in the Alliance League as well. That's fisted on that time by David Moran, and James O'Donoghue reacts quickest, comes from his corner forward spot ahead of Lockery. Lockery trying to win it back, O'Donoghue battling as well, refusing to yield anything to Cork, and in the end the linesman says, Cork, you have the line ball. Mark Collins ready to take it. The linesman over there is Joe McQuillan of Cavan. On the near side it's Derek O'Mahony of Tipperary, and there's a Cork player now requiring some attention.
Yeah, but a lot of people kind of look on Donoghue as a stylish finisher and all of that, and a person who has beautiful array of skills. But when he has to graft, nobody does it better. That time with 3 Cork men around him, he's prepared to fight for his own ball. And just have been very, very impressed with him today. Like the shoulder injury of the last couple of years hasn't done him an awful lot of favours. But on the evidence of what we see today, he's back to his best form.
James Lockery is the injured player here. Player who is, well, he's played championship in Ulster and in Munster. He's played in Ulster finals, played there for Antrim against Tyrone back in 09. This is what was happening here. He was chasing for it. Oh, he caught the leg of James O'Donoghue. Got a crack at the back of the head. Painful.
Oh, painful, but also something that deserves complete attention from the medical staff anytime you get a knock on the head. And in fairness to O'Donoghue hurt his knee in the process of that particular incident, and wouldn't be surprised actually if he is to go off, or if they take him off simply just to rest him up.
Well, James getting himself back up onto his feet again. The former St. Bridget's Belfast man, now plays for Mallow, based in Cork for the last number of years. Ian Maguire is going to take this line ball. Back in here towards Mark Collins. Taken away by Maguire again. Storming forward, had some very good moments in the first half. This is Michael Hurley. Can be a real pace setter, this fellow. Inside towards Aidan Walsh, under a lot of pressure from Mikey Gainey. Kerry, you'd swear it was only a one-point game. They're so keen to win it, and Jack Barry comes out. Fists it forward here. Gainey goes after it again. Cork are chasing Gainey. There's a support player here. It's Paul Murphy. Down he goes, free into Kerry. But they show their willingness, their appetite, their desire to be successful on their own Fitzgerald Stadium here this afternoon to win another Munster crown. It'll be Kerry's 79th. That was a rugby-style tackle there, and the referee is going to show the black book to Jamie O'Sullivan.
Well, I don't think Jamie O'Sullivan can have any complaints in that case. But again, this all goes back to a very tentative Cork play once they get into the Kerry half of the field. Didn't seem to know what they were doing. Hurley got the ball first, seemed to make the decision. Then they ran out of ideas, but that's a great counter-attack from Cork, or from Kerry rather, and unfortunately for Cork, they end up by getting a black card for Jamie O'Sullivan. He can have no complaints, sure.
So we wait for the change, number 18 coming on in just a moment. Will be Barry John Keane for Kerry. Cork will be bringing on a change as well. Owen Cadigan is the one who's going to come in. First piece of football that he will have played this year. There he is, number 21. And number 26, Stephen Cronin, is also getting a run out. That will be the end of Cork's subs then. James O'Donoghue ready to hit this. This will be his 7th point of the match if he makes it. No error on his part, and it is now 19-10. It's sounding like a bad year from Cork's point of view. 9 behind, looking down and well and truly out. He's off, and Barry John Keane's gonna come on.
There's no way that Eamon Fitzmaurice is going to risk James O'Donoghue aggravating that blow that he took to the knee. And as you said, game is over to all intents and purposes, unless there's a miracle from a Cork point of view.
So the black card substitution, as the public address man announces, and in comes Stephen Cronin as well. He was a real star here 2 years ago when Cork drew and very nearly won that Munster final, but for a last second point by Fionn Fitzgerald, and he comes on for James Lockery, who is injured. Cork today, quite frankly, a pale shadow of the team we saw attempting to win Munster here in Kerry 2 years ago. It's been a bad championship for them. Barely got over Waterford, struggled against Tipperary, in difficulty against Kerry, and Kerry have got a goal, and it is scored by Paul Ganey. It's come in the 64th minute. Ganey's got a goal and 4. This high ball coming in here, consternation at the back by Cork, who've never looked secure, and Ganey was on the prowl, and the ace predator gets a favourable knock in and pushes it past the goalkeeper and gets his 7th ever championship goal. It's 119 to 10 points.
Yeah, but you have to credit Ganey with wonderful anticipation that time. He knew immediately when the ball was in flight what Donaghy was going to do. He looped around Donaghy, had the composure to have his go, but then when the initial save was made, just kept his head, flicked it to the net. That's a deserved goal for Kerry. Their forward play has just simply been far too impressive, far too good for Cork.
Darren O'Sullivan comes on in place of Kieran Donaghy. They're making those changes at the other end. We're watching Donegal O'Connor. Oh, there was a slap there. He's got to be careful.
Once more, that's very, very careless fouling. Very unnecessary foul conceded.
Referee immediately having a word there. Stephen O'Brien, number 19, and he's got himself a yellow card. It's got to be a free into Cork. 119 to 10 points. That's 22 points to 10 behind. We got one back.
Yeah, just go back to Stephen O'Brien. Okay, he incurred a yellow card there. He had a very impressive start to the second half when he came on instead of Duncan Walsh. And again, just a measure of his industry is the fact that he is back in a full back position, trying to help out his defence.
Jonathan Lyne, who's an English teacher and a very fine player, comes on here late in the game to replace Mikey Ganey. Everybody has done well, I think, for Kerry. They've won all the battles, basically. They are well set up for the next stage of their journey to try and win back the Sam Maguire Cup. And this year, Eamon Fitzmaurice has been in the position of being able to add in some young players, add them to the squad, the likes of Jack Barry we've seen today, some others as well. They knock it around so confidently. Peter Crowley, finally belted in there by Killian Young into the mix. This one is dealt with, swept away out of danger. Back out again it comes. In the second half so far, Kerry have got a goal and 8. Cork have just got 4 points. It tells its own story better than anything else. Michael Hurley back as far as Luke Connolly. Connolly chipping it in. Kerrigan waiting for it. Was there a foul? The referee says no. Kerry were expecting a free out. Cork have got a free in instead.
Yeah, well, that's the second time I've seen Kerrigan using his body like that. The first time the free went against him. This time maybe by way of compensation he's getting the free in.
I think Shane Enright was puzzled. Yeah. Free in anyway, which Donnacha O'Connor will take. A bit more shooting practice for Donnacha. Kerrigan goes short. They're going to try and work something. Oh, they work a point. Needed a goal. Needed a couple of goals.
They need a couple of goals indeed at this stage. They're not going to come as far as I can see, Ger. But going back to Kerry, you have to say that their influential core has delivered right throughout the field today, and their option taking has been exceptional. But given that, it is their teamwork that is the thing that has really impressed me, and their pace throughout the field. It's
a very good summation. Cork come again, and it's Michael Hurley knocking it back in here to Owen Cadigan. Luke Connolly. Been playing in fits and starts in this match, but the service has been dreadful. Tomas Clancy gets up.
Yeah, but there has been no diminishing whatsoever in the Kerry workload or in the Kerry work rate, even though they're so far ahead. It's a little bit like the ruthlessness that Dublin showed last weekend against Westmeath. We're seeing a reprise of that again today from Kerry.
Well, it's what you expect, Martin. You've no business playing at this level unless you are that ruthless and that determined. Donnacha O'Connor's got 4 points. He's got another one. Mostly frees, all bar one. But he will always play his part for Peadar Healy. Peadar, who was a selector when Cork won the All-Ireland back in 2010, long time ago now at this stage. That's a great catch. That's Jack Barry, the new up-and-coming midfield star of Kerry football. In here as far as Killian Young's done so much for the team and for the county over the years. A mesmerising run through the heart of the Cork midfield. On it goes towards James O'Donoghue. Oh, it's not, it's Barry John Keane this time. O'Donoghue's gone. Jerry John Keane's in. Same style.
Yeah, but no proper defending whatsoever. The ease with which they're defend. I think Jonathan or Killian Young, I think, was the one who carried the ball forward that time. But not a tackle, not a glove laid on him. Made it very easy ultimately for Keane to take a point.
Well, he's got that same devastating rush towards goal that James O'Donoghue possesses. Such an array of talent that they have got at their disposal. 10 minutes going to be added on.
Oh, that's going to
part of that for the injury of Fionn Fitzgerald, and the rest for normal wastage, as you would have at any football match during the second half.
Well, I think
120 to 13 points.
It's only going to prolong Cork's agony, because there's no way they can come back from the deficit that they're experiencing at the moment.
Jack Barry. Buckley turns smartly. His new marker is Stephen Cronin. This is out as far as Stephen O'Brien as well. He started the second half in such whirlwind fashion. He's got a third point now. Timely reminder to the team management of what he's able to do, which is strike with great accuracy and make it 121 to 13 points.
Well, certainly he's thrown down a marker today. The cameo he's had throughout the second half, he's been very, very good. His accuracy is commendable, but his work rate also. I've seen him a number of times tracking back into his own defence, and he's certainly given him and Fitzmaurice something to think about.
Cork come again. When the public address announcer just a moment ago that there were going to be 10 extra minutes, you could almost hear the Kerry fans saying yippee. You could almost hear the Cork fans saying, oh God, no. Once more they go forward, and this time it's Darren O'Sullivan. O'Sullivan, back out it comes here. Jonathan Lyne was involved. Darren O'Sullivan back out towards Paul Murphy, up into the air but lacking direction. Missed opportunity.
But it's just the never-ending movement of the Kerry attack. Their angles of running, their ability to support, and the regularity then of their shooting its goals.
Just look at the scoreline. 121 for Kerry. Number of wides, 3.
3, yeah.
Absolutely
yeah.
impeccable.
They're so efficient and economical in front of posts. Their option taking is outstanding. That last effort was an exception to what they have been like all day. But then when you have late in the game the likes of Darren O'Sullivan coming in, it just tells you the range of options they have on the bench.
And of the 121, 115 has come from open play. Hugely impressive performance. Mark Griffin in difficulty, but he wants to stay on.
He wants to stay on, certainly aiming for...
What's an old injury, he's saying?
Yeah, probably he wouldn't like to see 2 of his full back line actually going off injured today, John Fitzgerald and Mark Griffin. But Griffin, I think, took a knock. He was writhing in agony down Lois for a while, but he's okay again.
They've used all their subs anyway, Martin.
Yep.
Ian Maguire. A game where Cork were in difficulty after 5 minutes, and after 10 minutes they were 6 points down. Cork got back to within 3, and then started the second half. Kerry simply demolished the Cork challenge, such as it was again early on, reeling off 4 quick points, and the pattern just continued and continued. And then a goal after 64 minutes scored by Paul Ganey. Cork come back, and even then they can't find the back of the net through Luke Connolly. Over the bar instead.
Oh, that was a gift.
Goal was gaping.
An absolute gift, Spurn, that time. Lovely play for Doug O'Connor. Knew exactly what to do. Got the high ball. A little bit like what happened with Donaghy earlier on in the game, or when he set up the Kerry goal. But that time there was a complete lack of composure on the part of Connolly.
It's a 10-point lead right now for Kerry. Will it be a 10-point victory? Stephen O'Brien trying to inflict further punishment. Back down again here. Ganey picking it up, tormenting his marker, giving it off to Darren O'Sullivan, trying to steal it inside the right-hand post. Unable to steer it in there, however.
Well, I suppose the match as a contest finished an age ago, to be honest about it, Ger. Maybe the couple of goal chances that Cork had, created for themselves had they been eventually finished, might have made a game of it, but has been really very, very dreary for the last 10 minutes or so.
Well, Cork are going to have to try and pick it up again when it gets to the 4th round of the qualifiers. That's where they will come in by virtue of being beaten Munster finalists. Kerry will go straight to the quarter-finals. And they look good. Paul Kerrigan all the way in here, this time taken well by Donagh O'Connor. Awkward angle, trying to somehow steal it in over the goalkeeper's reach, but unable to do so. Jonathan Lyne able to take it away. Darren O'Sullivan coming deep. Quick hand pass. At the moment, Cork are even a man down because their number 4, Sean Powter, has gone off injured, and they've used all their subs. Stephen O'Brien. Referee saw a double hop.
Yep.
Owen Cadogan almost played 5 minutes of additional time. Michael Hurley carrying it on. Knock it over the bar anyway. That one has just gone outside. Missed opportunity. So it's wide number 10. They're going to have to somehow get themselves together very, very quickly with the qualifiers fast approaching.
Yeah, they haven't been.
Otherwise, the year is over.
No, very much so. They look to be a team very, very low on morale at the moment, and certainly they will be further deflated by the quality or lack of quality of this performance.
They might have hoped to come out and give a performance in the second half, but they're putting it on now, and the match is well and truly beyond them. Donagh O'Connor slipping it in towards Luke Connolly. He had a goal chance. We remember Tomas Clancy very nearly got one in, but hit the side netting instead. Darren O'Sullivan does well, keeps it away from his man. Tomas Clancy after him, Maguire after him as well. They've got one goal already. They'll be quite content with a point, and that will have to do.
Yeah, they were queuing up that time. I think the ball could have been flicked across 2 or 3 players. Just watch, we're open support for Kerry that time, but just take the point. Spared any more misery for Cork, really, by putting
it's
another
a goal and 5 for Paul Ganey.
Yeah, he's been outstanding for Kerry today, but as have all the Kerry forwards. They are so impressive to watch. Other teams will certainly stand up or kind of sit back and look at them and say, this is one group of guys, if once they get into Croke Park, they're going to be the main threat to Dublin winning, going for a 3 in a row.
At no stage did Cork look convincing from the throw-in, from the word go, when David Moran won that and drove at the heart of the Cork defence. They always looked quite porous at the back. They never looked remotely convincing.
Yes, and on top of that, they need a much more obdurate defence and a stingier defence. They were so open today from the word go, Ger.
And paid the price as a result. Colm O'Driscoll inside towards Alan O'Connor. This kind of a defeat will really have hurt a player like Alan O'Connor. Great play again by Darren O'Sullivan. So much to admire about Kerry's wonderfully fluent. This time, little bit too much movement on the part of Barry John Keane, taking steps.
And you have to commend their work rate. Every Kerry player at that time was behind the ball, getting in their defensive duties.
Kevin Crowley back here towards Donegal O'Connor in what has turned out to be a very one-sided Munster football final. Let's hope the Leinster hurling final is a good deal better coming up shortly. Donegal O'Connor in, easily gathered in with a little second go at it by Jonathan Lyne. Referee, what is he doing? Looking to...
I'm not sure what he's doing, Gerard.
I thought he was going to call somebody towards him. I think he was just saying to Kerry, bring the ball out. 2 minutes or thereabouts remaining of the injury time.
But Gerard, hasn't the decision-making of the Kerry players been absolutely exceptional today? It's been a joy.
They've been playing at a higher level. They're quicker in everything that they do.
And in particular, quicker of thought.
Got to give an awful lot of credit as well to their manager, Eamon Fitzmaurice, and his management team. They knew that an awful lot of people in Kerry were saying, we are too confident, maybe overconfident that Kerry are going to win. And they were worried about that, and they were so determined that their side would start properly. They did. And now they're finishing properly as well. Totally in command of this match, which is now 70 seconds from its conclusion. Barry John Keane. Nicely down. Shane Enright. He's only once scored in the championship. That goes off the post. He's got a second point in his championship career.
And as you say, a bit of a collector's item that, Ger. Seldom you see him up in the other half of the field. He'll be happy with that.
The margin is 12 points. Thoroughly satisfying victory for Kerry. Chance for them to move on.
Yeah, and the move on with menace, actually, with purpose into the All-Ireland series. They've thrown down a marker today and they show they really mean business.
But they should realise they're going to hit tougher challenges than this one in the road ahead. Quarter-final beckons for them. Mark Collins back towards Owen Cadigan, carried on by Michael Hurley. Disjointed performance, really. Pushing the back there by Paul Murphy. Free kick. Might just shave a point off the winning margin. Won't do anything else. Donegal O'Connor with 4 points already. So we played the 10 minutes. Another one for Donegal O'Connor. The final whistle sounds and Kerry have won here very, very convincingly. Padre Healy can have no qualms about it. There was only one team in it, quite truthfully, and that was the Kingdom, managed by Eamon Fitzmaurice. The managers exchange a couple of words. It's Kerry who move on. They have won the Munster final. Kerry 123, Cork 15 points. Kerry Munster champions for the 79th time. Well,
excitement guaranteed here at Croke Park. You are welcome back again to the Sunday game as we of course look forward to this year's Leinster Hurling final between Galway and Wexford. We are joined here in studio again by Gerlach Lan, Ken Mcgrath and by Henry Shefflin, and I'll be chatting to them shortly. But right now though, it is time to hand you over to the commentary box to get team news from Marty Morrissey.
Thank you very much, Michael. In 16 days' time, he'll be celebrating his 35th birthday, but he's playing more like an energetic 19-year-old. It's Galway goalkeeper Colm Callanan from Kinvara. It's a very strong inner line of defence with Adrian Toohey and John Hanbury in the corners. The main man is Turlough Dahi Burke, who once again this season has proven why he won an All-Star last year. A strong but fast-moving half-backline is crucial, and Galway have three hurlers who tick all those requirements. Pádraig Mannion, Gearóid McInerney and Aidan Hart have been impressive so far in 2017. Loughrea's Johnny Cohen is playing with freedom since being moved to centre field, where his partnership with Galway captain David Burke is one of the reasons why Galway won the Alliance League in April. When you get to a Leinster final, then expectations rise and more focus will centre on Joe Canning's performance. His wingmen today will be Niall Burke and Joseph Cooney. The two Connors, Whelan and Cooney, will ask serious questions of the Wexford full back line, where they'll be joined by the inner line by Jason Flynn, who's a late replacement for the injured Cathal Mannion. The Wexford goalkeeper is Mark Fanning, who's from Glen Barntown. He's been first choice between the posts and Slaney side for the last 4 seasons. The Wexford full back line could come under pressure this afternoon. Willie Devereux, Liam Ryan and James Breen are solid, but Galway forwards will probably be their biggest test this year. Simon Donoghue and Diarmuid O'Keefe are stylish hurlers and fully support and complement the powerful presence of Wexford captain Matthew O'Hanlon at number 6. Sean Murphy plays a crucial role for his manager Davy Fitzgerald as a sweeper, so the good news is that he plays despite an injury scare. Aidan Nolan will wear the number 9 jersey. The performance of Lee Chin was awesome against Kilkenny, but can he reproduce it again? Jack O'Connor and Conor MacDonald complete a half-forward line of real potential. The Wexford full forward line is a tremendous mixture of good wrists and slick scoring know-how. So far in 2 championship games, Paul Morris, Jack Guiney and Harry Keogh have scored 2-11 between them. The Leinster final, the throw-in is 4 o'clock. Back to Michael.
It certainly is, Marty. Marty has been taking us, Henry, through both of the teams, but there are 3 players that you want to have a look at. 3 Wexford players that you think, well, they're going to have a key role today.
Yeah, well, they're going to have to, and for Wexford to win, they're going to need to score enough, and obviously they play the sweeper system, so they're going to need players that are going to win their own ball, win primary possession. And first one I picked out was Jack Guiney, edge of the square. He's only back on the team this year. He's had his troubles with Liam Dunn. He played well against Kilkenny. He actually got better as the game went on. Here we see him win a high ball against a couple of Kilkenny defenders. And he's a very intelligent hurler as well, very risky hurler, setting up a score and needed when they needed. Next man is Conor MacDonald. We've known about him for a few years now. Again, against Kilkenny here in the league. Look at this for wrists and touch and swivel and over the bar. And that's what Wexford are going to need to do. Again, against Kilkenny in the championship, high ball down, up he goes, force the players down and straight over the bar. You're going to need those players. And I suppose the last man, and most importantly, is their talisman, Lee Chin. He was unbelievable against Kilkenny in the last day. Long range free taking. They're going to need every opportunity, every free they get from long range, they're going to need to score. And there's a couple of wow moments they just experience in games. And I was down in Wexford Park and I went, wow, when this happened. Look at the height he got up. Yeah. Unbelievable catch. It was just magnificent. And you look for leadership as well. It's something I'm always on about. Kilkenny just got a goal. Colin Fennelly got a goal. Came down the other end of the field. He grabbed it over the bar. He is their leader. There was a big roar when his name went up outside. They need those 3 players. As I said, they'll play with a sweeper. So offensively, you're going to need players that are going to win their own ball. There's going to be more Galway lads around them. But if they can do it, if those 3 players can perform, Wexford will have a good chance today. They will.
It's interesting that you're talking about leaders, Ken, because this is a thing, I suppose, that Galway people would look at the team and say, you know, have they the men out there to lead them?
Well, that's the big question for any team, and I suppose I got a bit of criticism of Waterford the last day after the Cork game, and I said we lack leaders in the second half, and that's a prime example of leadership, taking the ball on and a brilliant score.
Presidential salute, of course, as Uachtaráin Héireann and Michael G. Higgins walks out to meet the teams. I am sure the Uachtaráin is looking forward to this match as much as we all are here in Croke Park today. And dare I say, I'm sure the Uachtaráin wouldn't mind seeing a Galway win here today as well.
Like yourself, Michael.
Okay, we were talking about Wexford there, Ken, a moment ago. One of the things that we're also saying is the way Davy Fitzgerald has brought this transition into the Wexford team since he's come in. But the same, I think, could be said about Galway under Micheál Donoghue.
Yeah, look, they're playing a different style of hurling at times. The transition, I suppose, from defence and attack is very fast. And here kind of illustrates a small bit. John Hanbury, a quick ball in. And they defend in numbers, but they attack in droves again. And the ball breaks. They have numbers in around the goal area. There's a goal from Jason Flynn. And here I think there's 8 defenders all they seem marked here in a small enough area, crowding out the forwards. A quick turn. Joe Canning, who's playing as a deep centre forward or deep half forward, a good first touch. You've 2 options either side of them. And that's what I'm saying. They have numbers there. They're defending in a lot of numbers, but when they are attacked, they're all attacking together. And that takes massive work rate and massive fitness. And they seem to have that this year. It takes an unbelievable amount of commitment as well. I think there's a point coming up here from Daithí Burke, full back line coming out, Padraig Mannion, right half back. A crossfield pass, which won't be unto the similar Henry received off Tommy Wells for years. I think it takes 13-14 seconds for Niall Burke to get a score, and that avoids any congestion in the middle of the pitch. Look, that's direct hurling. It mixes things up. It gets defenders thinking the whole time. And here I think it maybe sums up the new way Galway are thinking or the way they're going at teams. 9 times out of 10, Joe was tapping that ball over the bar, but he sniffed a goal, a brilliant pass across. Now, you do them balls in training. You don't often do them in championship games. But Joe saw the goal. Now, unlucky Jason Flynn. But it shows the killer instinct that Galway are probably getting at the moment, that are going for these teams and going for the attack, you know.
I suppose, Ger, naturally enough, going into a match like this, we're saying nice things about both teams as we look forward to it. But you just have a question mark about Wexford?
Well, I have, because Sean Murphy's still adjusting to life as a sweeper, you know, or as a free man. Now you'll see him here. He goes too soon. He expects James Reid to get the ball. He should be minding the house.
Yes.
And now the run for John Mcgrath straight through to goal, and the ball is in the back of the net. Now look at here, Jack McCart covering back. Instead of going through the centre, he should have gone for John Mcgrath, because, you know, a forward doesn't have the same instinct for defences as a backman would have. Now look at here. Look at Sean Murphy, you know, I mean, it's crazy. He should get between the goalie and Colin Finlay, because there was a mismatch between himself and Willie Devereux. So he hasn't adjusted to that yet. Now look at here, with the Wexford defence, 3-2, there should be no danger. The thing is, you stand up, you hold your hurley up, and you hold the man up, not grab him. Now this is the worst of all. Now these are big weaknesses in the defence, and they must be remedied by the day. When Colin Finlay gets around, Willie Devereux is there, Sean Murphy is there, neither of them come out to attack him. He stands up and gets full power and buries it in the net. And finally, look at this. You know what I mean? A full forward shouldn't be able to throw the full back around like a rag doll and get straight through. Murphy's too far out and gets caught. So when Davy's looking at this, I think the things he'll look at is the positioning of Sean Murphy. You know, it's only his first year doing it. He's only done it in 3 or 4 games. It's going to take time. And he's not really a sweeper in the sense of, we'll say, Ty de Borca, standing in front of a 3-man full back line. So there's a big adjustment there. And I think the other thing that he'll have his mind in, are they getting 2 men, or men, especially backmen, forward too quickly? It's all right to have backs scoring 3 points, but I mean, the back's job is to stop the score. So I think if they have worked on those, then, you know, their defence will be more secure. If not, they're in danger.
Okay, the teams are in the parade, as we can see here, so this is the time we normally ask you guys to nail your colours to the mark. Henry, who's going to win it?
Well, first of all, I think it's a great occasion. It's great to see a Leinster final with such a crowd. We're after watching the football match, and we knew the result from there. I hope Wexford perform like they did. I hope they put it up to. But for me, Galway are a team on a mission this year, and I think Gerard's just pointed they have weaknesses. Galway can get a couple of goals today, and I think they'll win it.
Ken, see it the same?
Yeah, like Henry, it's great to be here. It's a great occasion. It's something different. For years, look, we were probably in no result in Leinster final with Kenny were playing at times, but look, I think, as Henry said, I think Galway are on a mission this year. Some of their top players are playing to the top level. It's the way that they're big men around the pitch, all can hurl, all can move the ball, and their first touch is top class. I think Wexford will put it up to him, but I think Galway will pull through.
And Joe briefly.
Well, I suppose when you just look at them going around the field there, you see the massive size of both teams. 2 huge physical teams, great atmosphere here. Galway have the experience. They also have the forwards, I think, to finish there. So I think it's unanimous. I think we'd all favour Galway.
Unanimous here in the studio, but Donald O'Grady joins us pitchside as well here at Croke Park. Let's see what he has to think.
Well, I'm just looking at 3 main things really, Michael. The first thing is Galway are going to have a spare man in defence, so it's going to be interesting to see for their puck outs. Will Colm Cannon go short, and will they walk the ball through the lines? or will he go direct to Joseph Cooney and to Niall Burke, two big men on the wings? The second thing, of course, is Joe Canning was allowed a bit of freedom of the park against Dublin and against Tip in the league final, but I think James Green will probably pick him up and stay with him, and Simon Donoghue drop back into the corner. The other question mark, of course, is Galway. Cathal Mannion isn't playing today, played very well for them in the previous rounds. Now they have Jason Flint to bring in, who's a goal scorer, and I think Galway will look to probably get on the score sheet early, maybe make things uncomfortable for the Wexford full back line, because there was goals there in the previous matches. And of course then the last thing is, what's going to happen in midfield? Will Lee Chin be picked up by Johnny Cohen, or will David Burke pick him up, or will they just play a sort of a loose, liberated type of 2 versus 2 in the middle? These are the question marks that I'd like to see answered, and I think we're going to see a great game, great atmosphere down here pitchside, and two big teams, and I'm looking forward to the game.
So here we are in Croke Park on this day, July 2nd, 2017, and just look around this magnificent Coliseum that the people of Ireland are so proud of. It's awash with people from the West in their maroon and white jerseys, praying and hoping that Galway will win, and counterbalanced by a sea of purple and gold, as every man, woman and child in this great county of Wexford seem to have left home this morning and travelled up the N11 to our capital city. This is a Leinster final with a difference. This is historic. You see the Wexicans, as John Milan effectively called them on the radio a few weeks ago, haven't been here for a Leinster final for some time, like 9 years. Wexford haven't won a Leinster title since 2004. But they're here today facing Galway as we stand for a rendezvous. Here in Croke Park. It's an emotional day. Reminds me of John Fitzgerald Kennedy, President of the United States, when he came to New Ross 54 years ago, when he said it took 115 years to get here, 6,000 miles and 3 generations, but we're finally home. It might be a different context, but for the people of Wexford being back in Croke Park, the feeling is the same. This is spiritual, this is emotional, this is about pride, this is hurling. So Wexford, welcome back to Croke Park. On the field, this Leinster final also looks different. More precisely, Galway look different, as indeed do Wexford. Today, Wexford wear a different strip with the yellow and purple. Galway wear the all-white. It's like stepping back in time when the Railway Cups were televised and Connacht would wear their all-white strip. Match referee is Colm Lyons from Nimmo Rangers in Cork. It's his very first Leinster final. Game is on. Wexford gathering the ball quickly. Jack Guiney laying it off. Where's Diarmuid O'Keefe? Looking around to see if anybody's available. The first 15-20 minutes crucial for a team that has never played a championship in Croke Park.
Yeah, pull ball there. Diarmuid O'Keefe very patient there. Flicked it back to Conor MacDonald. Brilliant atmosphere, Marty. Massive crowd here, as you say. Seems to be, here's Conor Cooney now.
Conor Cooney getting his first touch. And that is straight over the bar. It's Galway to get the first score of the Leinster final 2017.
Yeah, direct ball in. Great first touch by Conor Cooney. And this is the worry about Wexford, the full back line. Galway very strong inside. Conor Whelan is having a great year. Niall Burke has moved into the corner and Jason Flynn is out in the wing.
Liam Ryan gets the short puck out from Mark Fanning. He's fouled. First free of the afternoon for Wexford. Taking it is Sean Murphy. Spreading it wide. First ball down towards Aidan Nolan. Gathered this time by Garrod McInerney, who's been powerful at centre-half back. So too Torrick Mannion, given a new freedom of life by Micheál Donoghue, moving him from cornerback to wing-back this season. Down my part of the world, this would be Willie Devereux, but in Wexford it's Willie Devereux. So we'll stick with Willie Devereux. Lee Chin, laying it off quickly, getting in, away the first ball, giving it back into the middle, is Matthew O'Hanlon. O'Hanlon, the Wexford captain, loses out to his opposite, number 6, Garrod McInerney, being chased by Aidan Nolan. His father used to wear white boots His son wears white helmet in an all-white strip. As Galway go back into the attack again, and this ball is straight across the face of the goals and wide.
Yeah, and you saw, I suppose Liam Ryan sold on 50 or 60 yards there, Marty, because he looked up, there was nobody inside. Aidan Hart is just playing in front of the full back line. Jack Guiney and Harry Cure inside there, and Aidan Hart is the sweeper. Very good hurler to leave loose, and he did a lot of damage. You know, in the first two matches against Dublin and Galway, or in Offaly, scored a few points as well.
Here comes Conor McDonald. Had an injury worry over the last 2 weeks or so, but he's here. He lays off the ball, and the first effort at a score goes to the left and wide on this particular occasion.
Yeah, a bit of nerves early on, Marty. I think two or three bad wides there from both sides so far, just settling in, and fairly much what we expected. Sean Murphy back playing in front of Galway. Had 3 men standing in a straight line in front of the goals, not really playing orthodox corner forwards.
A short puck out, goes to Aidan Hart. He gives it long past Conor Whelan, who's going to be a serious problem, I would suggest, for the Wexford full back line. He's been on form, and James Breen, with the first 50-50 ball, loses this particular battle.
Yeah, he's incredible. He's not that tall, but he's very strong, Conor Whelan. He's been outstanding. I think in the year, which has been a great year for forwards so far. We see the Cork forwards on fire, Conor Lahan and likes him, but Conor Whelan is up there with the best in the country on his form this year.
Joe Canning wasn't even born when Galway last won the All-Ireland in 1988. He was born in October the following month. But he's a pivotal figure for Galway over the last number of years. But his role, Michael Duignan, has changed, particularly this season.
Yeah, I love him out there. You know, I think he can influence the game, and he's involved in the game. When he's in full forward, the ball is not going in. He can become a peripheral figure. Great catch by Lee Chin again.
Footballer, dual star, Lee Chin, giving it far as Paul Morris, making a bit of space. Could this be Wexford's first score in the Leinster final 2017? It is. Excellent score by the St. Aidan Spurns clubman.
And look at his boot halfway up Johnny Cohen's back, Leach in a great catch. And looked up and passed to Paul Morris. And I mentioned Conor Whelan. Paul Morris has been also hugely impressive in the 13 jersey for Wexford this year.
Tuck out from Colm Callanan is gathered here by Matthew O'Hanlon. Gets by the first challenge. Puts it into the path. Jack Guiney can't gather it. Coming across is Aidan Hart. Gets in his clearance despite the pressure. 50-50 ball again. Well won by Conor Cooney, who scored the first point. He's going for the second. He's dropping in. Mark Fanning kept his eye on it all the time, but there were palpitations in the Hogan and the Cusick stand as Conor Whelan arrived on the late bus. And it's Galway now under pressure as Wexford try and gather the ball here. Here's Harry Kill dropping it in. It's a weak shot, easily gathered by Colm Callanan, who's all the time in the world to lay it off. Far as David Burke, captain of Galway. It's 3 against 2. Trying to go up for it is Liam Ryan, who knocks it back. Good covering by Sean Murphy. The sweeper role that he has employed, or rather his manager has employed, has really worked so far. Lovely little flick back. Nice wrist as Galway go in pursuit of yet another score. This is looking good. The umpire is not going for his flag. The ball is wide. But lovely wrists in the build-up to allow Johnny Cohen the opportunity. But the puck out is quickly taken by Mark Fanning. Underneath it was Jack Guiney in a battle with Dahi Burke. Now that should be interesting to watch over the next 68, 69 minutes. Linesman indicates that it is a sideline ball, and it's going to Wexford.
Yeah, an aspect of Wexford play that has improved an awful lot this year, Marty. They're tackling of their forwards, putting great pressure on there. Dahi Burke, a strong man, but he was hooshed out over the line.
Coming across to take this is Jack O'Connor from St. Martin's Club in Pearsestown, son of John, nephew of George. Not his best by any stretch of the imagination. Picked up by Gerard McInerney, who lays it off. Far as David Burke, who's playing very defensive in the opening few minutes. Trying to put the ball up there is Niall Burke, but it's Wexford that have it again. Sean Murphy with that sweeper roll, getting a lot of loose ball. But the ball is given away. He was under no pressure whatsoever. Poor distribution. Gathered instead by Pádraig Mannion, who goes for it from way out the field, and that is a brilliant score.
Yeah, Marty, a brilliant player, Pádraig Mannion. I saw him with his club last year in Tullamore in the All-Ireland final against Lismore. He was absolutely outstanding. But this is what he can do from distance, and Aidan Hart, and that's the problem with playing a sweeper against them. They're such good hurlers, such good strikers, they'll punish you like that.
but not taking away from Pádraig Mannion's point, but he was really unmarked, and it was poor distribution by Sean Murphy. Meanwhile, it is Wexford responding, and that looks like over the bob on the stick of Conor MacDonald. Now that is a really good score and a good response.
And great pace to the game. You know, we were just still talking about the last score, down to Conor MacDonald there, and that's a fantastic score. If it is the score, it was close enough, I'd say, but that's maybe twice we could have had Hawkeye in operation. Not Johnny Cohen's point not given, and no Hawkeye. That one to me looked a little bit suspect.
Gathering the ball here is Willie Devereux. Stopped on this occasion illegally. On the ground is Niall Burke. Referee Colm Lyons indicating off camera, adamant that it is a Wexford free.
You can see there a great block down, and Niall Burke originally, and he went to pick the ball. I think if we followed on from that, I don't really get a slap after that.
I think actually the slither just hit him on the side of the face guard. I think that possibly is the problem. And meanwhile, as you can see, Colm Lyons is having a word with Conor Cooney, and he's actually showing him a yellow card, which it's early days. When you look at the clock on your television screen, almost 8 minutes gone.
Yeah, that's a great block down there, and you see Niall Burke just trying to pick the ball, and there he got a flick there.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah.
That's... So there was
Willie Devereux, he broke the hurl, and he hit him with the piece of the hurl left in his hand, with the handle of the hurl. Hard to know whether it was deliberate or not, but he certainly caught him in the side of the head.
Niall Burke is the player that's still down injured, it would appear. And he's okay, thankfully. Made his debut in the league against Dublin 3 years ago. He scored something like 12 points, if memory serves me correctly. Coming out to take the free is goalkeeper Mark Fanning. And that is a mighty puck of a ball, but it's just tailing to the left and wide. Scoreline remains 3 points to 2. Watching from the stand, Wexford manager Davy Fitzgerald. Colm Callanan, again looking to see if who is available. Diarmuid O'Keefe is underneath it, but going back to pick the slither up is Jack O'Connor. Sweet ball up for Diarmuid O'Keefe. Coming in to challenge was John Hansbury, but Diarmuid O'Keefe has gone down injured, and the referee indicating he didn't like the high challenge. Micheál Donoghue was a little bit animated along the sideline that his player was hit with the fragments of a hurley earlier.
To me, he was going for the ball, and he did clash with him okay, but to me there was no free there.
Big day for this Cork man. Very first provincial final.
Diarmuid O'Keefe seemed to take a heavy knock at the same time, Marty, there. He has been playing outstandingly well for Wexford, such a natural hurler. He's left half back, but he's over here in the right wing. He's obviously doing a man marking job on Joseph Cooney.
Diarmuid O'Keefe from St Anne's Club, primary teacher in Dunboyne in County Meath, and has had, as Michael said, a wonderful season both in the league and in the championship so far.
And Marty, I think this is a big free. Conor MacDonald, to me, a brilliant player, but I've seen him a few times over the last couple of years, and sometimes his free taking can be a bit off. In the league against Offaly, he missed 4 or 5. The last day he missed a couple against Kilkenny. And with Jack Guiney in the team and Lee Chin, who are 2 super free takers, I think, I'm not sure that this is the right man to be taking the frees out here today, but we'll see. He'll prove me wrong here, I'm sure.
He is the top scorer in the championship for Wexford, Michael, with 14 points, 9 of them from frees, but I do recall he missed quite a few of them in the championship game against Kilkenny in the semi-final. This will give him loads of confidence. He hits it smartly, sweetly, accurately between the posts. Sides are level for the first time. Colm Callanan changed the direction of his puck outs. Finds Joseph Cooney. Long ball over towards Conor Cooney, who makes that diagonal run, trying to get it into the centre. Little bit of confusion. Jason Flynn wasn't expecting the pass. Simon Donoghue looks to have been fouled. Referee says no. Sean Murphy again has the slither. This time we'll be hoping his distribution is better. It's a 50-50 ball down towards Harry Kill out over the sideline. Sideline ball for Galway. Let's go down to the sideline for some sideline reaction from Donald O'Grady.
Yeah, well, what's very significant, Marty, of this, and I think Wexford will be well pleased after 17 minutes almost of play, that Joe Canning hasn't been on the ball at all for Galway. He's been well marshalled there by Matthew Hanlon. He's sticking to him like glue, and Galway will be disappointed with that.
Long ball finds Conor Cooney, posing problems for Wexford. Second ball, second slither into the hand, second point for the St. Thomas's man.
Yeah, great first time ball again, and Conor Cooney, he's missed quite a bit over the last couple of years through injury, but on his day he's a fantastic forward. That's a great catch, and over the bar, and the sweeper working pretty well for Wexford so far, but there's still a threat Galway inside.
Quick ball in for his Lee Chen, gives it back for his Dermot O'Keefe. Two Galway men come to challenge him. He gets inside the cover, takes a shot, and Dermot O'Keefe, who scored a point against Laois, point against Kilkenny, and he's done it now in the Leinster final against Galway. They're level again, second time in Croke Park.
Great composure there, Mark. Look, he showed lovely footwork there to get in between the two lads, Gareth McInerney, and shorten up the grip, and a lovely score.
Colm Callanan this time goes for distance, dropping it down towards Conor Cooney. Knocks it down to himself. Third time hitting the slither. Third time raising the white flag.
Yeah,
ominous signs, I would suggest, Michael.
But it highlights the issue, with the sweeper. He's stuck in there underneath it. He's not watching the breaking ball. They're all just caught under it. That's too simple at this level, just to touch a ball out and make that sort of room for yourself.
Straight from Colm Callanan's puck out.
Yeah, it's working for them, and I think that's why Galway are going direct into Conor Cooney all the time.
Here comes Aidan Nolan. Halfway house from clothing. Runs into a cul-de-sac of maroon and white jerseys. Coming across is Harry Kill. Chasing after him is Dahi Burke. Harry Kill with a very difficult angle. He cut it across the face of the goal, but Wexford have it once more. Here's Paul Morris. He's already scored once. Gives it back to his joint captain, Matthew O'Hanlon, and O'Hanlon splits the post. Wonderful score by the St. James Ramsgrange South Wexford man. Around Arthurstown and Hookhead, they'll be happy with that.
Yeah, Martin, this is what Wexford are doing so well. They are playing with a sweeper, but they're pushing their half-back line up. You see Dermot O'Keefe scoring, Matthew Hanlon scoring. They're getting forward every chance, and that's a score for Matthew, and Joe Canning hasn't touched the ball, as Donald O'Grady was saying, so he's certainly winning that battle so far.
Matthew Hanlon and Dermot O'Keefe, who scored a point each against Kilkenny, and doing the exact same here in this Leinster final. Level for the third time in the opening quarter of an hour. Joe Canning standing over this. One free so far for the Portumna man, and that went straight between the posts. Hits it well, and with conviction, never in any doubt. Mark Fanning. Glyn Barntown man, gathered superbly by Jason Flynn, scored 2 goals and a point in the league final against Tipperary, and that is well wide. That's Galway's third wide of the match so far. And just in case you're wondering, there's little or no breeze here in Croke Park. There's no sunshine either. It's a cloudy day, a little bit clammy, but lovely. Ideal for this Leinster final. Here comes Aidan Nolan waiting for it, but it's Galway that have the possession. Torrig Mannion, given the ball by Gerard McInerney. And that is wonderful skill. It's one of the skills that we just love. And he's a happy supporter.
Yeah, and I think Jack O'Connor might have got a belt there, just blocking down. If you watch Torrig Mannion, big wind up, and Jack O'Connor came across. He got a nice clip there. Very lucky he didn't get it straight into the head. He got clipped in the hand as well there. Very brave coming in there. That'll be in the blood.
Great block down, I must say.
His dad was a fair operator. In his day, John, he was a tough man.
Absolutely. Jack was the mascot for the Wexford team with his dad and his uncle when Wexford were here in 1997 in the Leinster final. He's a big boy now, and he's now on wing forward on the Wexford team. Showing a lot of courage. Part of the O'Connor DNA, let me assure you. Come as far as Aidan Nolan. Nice turn. Trying to gather it cleaner was Paul Morris. John Hanbury gets it away slightly, but Wexford have it once more. Stalemate. There is Simon Donoghue has his head down. There's a bit of a scramble between the 45 and 65 metre line. Road McInerney is putting in the challenge. Somehow Wexford get it free. Here comes an opportunity from Conor MacDonald. He was stumbling backwards, but he hit it beautiful between the posts. It's Wexford's third point of the game for him, and 6 overall.
Yeah, look at the hurling brain there of MacDonald. He just stood out of the ruck. There was enough in there. He stood hoping that the ball would break out to him, and he's had a great start for Wexford. He's a brilliant forward, and he's having a great start.
Puck out goes slightly astray. Wexford should win this cleanly. Matthew O'Hanlon pickup was not sufficient. Here comes Conor Cooney. Little jink to the left. Still Conor Cooney needs a bit of support. There's nobody readily available, and the ball is given away. Far as Diarmuid O'Keefe. Conor Whelan comes in to challenge. O'Keefe dances away from the challenge and sends it low. Down towards Harry Kill. Won back by Gerard McInerney. McInerney hit a fair shoulder. It's Jack again. Jack O'Connor. Conor MacDonald, Conor Whelan is battling inside there, but it's Wexford that are showing the character. And listen to the roar. Look at Conor MacDonald. It is Lee Chin.
And that is some shoulder by Jack O'Connor. Look at that. Stop Garrett McInerney, a big man, stopped him in his tracks. And Wexford are up for this game. We never doubted that they would be, but Galway a bit surprised. I think they're getting hit hard all over the field, and you can see MacDonald's reaction there.
Lee Chin going to take this free. From Wexford Town. Fight Harriers. Club that produced Larry O'Gorman. Ned Buggy. It's his first free in his first championship match in Croke Park. And Lee Chin is class. Chinese father, Wexford mother, and what a hurler.
He's a brilliant player, and he's made for the big day. You know, that's a massive strike. First free he's got from that sort of distance. Brilliant ball. And they're hunting in packs. There seems to be two extra Wexford men all over the field. There's only a point in it on the scoreboard, but Wexford will be delighted with the way they're going.
Lovely pickup, lovely hands. Joe Canning laying it off. Farris, Niall Burke dropping in. 3 against 2. Ball is loose and available. Once again, Wexford come away with it. Have plenty of players available. Good work again by Sean Murphy. Jack Guiney just leaving it behind him. Good battle between himself and Dahi Burke here. That goes off the boot of Jack Guiney. It's going to be a Galway ball. Going to take this is Aidan Hart from Gort in South Galway. Cuts it into the middle. Aims for Joe Canning. Picked up by Willie Devereux. Lee Chin laying it off as Jack O'Connor. And you get the sense after, 20 minutes, the Wexford have settled and are beginning to enjoy the freedom of Croke Park. And, more importantly, beginning to express themselves in the beautiful game of hurling.
Yeah, there's a teamwork about Wexford, Marty, over the last Kilkenny match and today. Lee Chin got that straight away, the man in better position with Jack O'Connor off his shoulder. He gave it to him straight away, over the bar. And Galway's key men, Joe Canning, David Burke, out on the middle, not in the game.
Puck out from Colm Callanan, drops down. Conor Whelan is trying to toe poke it up. And once more, it's Galway that owns the threat. Joseph Cooney responds to the challenge being posed by the Slaney-siders. Good score. Davy Fitzgerald has moved from his box upstairs to ground level. I believe he timed it that it would take 41 seconds. I don't know why he timed it, but he timed it to come down to the sideline in 41 seconds. But you sense, and I'm sure Davy sensed, that Wexford were beginning to get a bit of momentum here.
There is, I think that's why he's down there. I didn't think he'd stay up in the box for too long, but he's down there now, lively on the sideline. One thing that's working for Galway, and unusually, is just a direct ball, long route one ball. They're getting under, they're winning the break up front, but outside of that, the Wexford sweeper system working very well, very comfortable, even compared to the Kilkenny match. They're mopping up all the loose ball around the half-back line.
This is where Niall Burke picked up an injury. He's been in the wars since about 4 o'clock. And certainly Willie Devereux might be just a little bit lucky to have not at least received a yellow card, if not more, for that earlier challenge involving Niall Burke. Now, Donoghue must be just a little bit concerned. Still Galway playing well, but you sense every now and then Wexford stepping up a gear and throwing over the points. Mark Fanning. Galway have possession. Picked up on this occasion by Johnny Cohen. Turley enjoys playing in midfield rather than cornerback, I would suggest. Conor Cooney. He's the one man up front that's posing problems. Backfires Jason Flynn. Flynn hits this. A bit rushed, I have to say. There were various options.
There were, and that's the second time Jason Flynn, maybe his confidence affected. He was left off the team originally. Cathal Mannion had to pull out injured, but he had 2 good chances there the last couple of minutes, but rushed both the shots, Martin.
Lee Chin is the target of Mark Fanning's puck-outs. Comes back again, far as Conor MacDonald. MacDonald, what a ball. Class. Here's a chance for Paul Morris. The vision, the accuracy, the shooting, the skill. It's magnificent. Conor MacDonald across field. Look at the vision here to spot this man available. That's Paul Morris, and he gets his second point in this Leinster final.
Yeah, and they're moving all the time. He was right half forward here a minute ago. He was in the middle of the field, Paul Morris, and now he was back, popped up corner forward for that one. Here's David Burke, first time on the ball.
Here's David Burke, as Michael Dinan says, and looks what he does. Straight between the posts and over the bar. Good score. Captain of the minor team, beaten in the last minute by Kilkenny in 2008. Under 21 All-Ireland medalist 6 years ago. Captain of this Galway side. And when leadership is needed, it's players like David Burke that Galway will look to. Once again, ball is around the Galway 45-metre line. Lee Chin. Effort was half blocked. Jack Guiney is underneath it, backing with Dai Burke. Guiney has the slipper momentarily in his grasp. In comes Aidan Hart. Dai Burke bursting forward. Still looking for a little bit of support. Johnny Cohen is available as Galway come forward, and Cohen is fouled, and that is a free for Galway.
Yeah, you watch her. Dahi Burke does brilliantly first. Johnny Cohen onto the ball, and not an awful lot in that. Right, nice touch, got the ball away from him.
I would say that was a bit of a soft free.
I think so, Marty. Yeah, you're encouraging players, if you're coaching teams to tackle hard and get in there, and I don't see a lot there. He tried to just hold him up, and he got in a little flick on the ball.
And Joe Canning has moved back inside his own half of the field to take this between the 45 and 65. It's a long way out. He's had 2 attempts at goal already. Both of them flew between the posts. This one just tailing slightly. The referee, I think, has blown his whistle as well. No, he hasn't. He's dropped it over the bar. Wow, some point. It took a while for it to land.
It was
actually unsure whether it reached its target or not.
Took the umpires a while to tell us that it was over as well. Beautiful strike by Joe.
Level 5 times in the opening 24 minutes as Wexford go back into the attack. And here's a point. The body language said it all. Good score. Matthew O'Hanlon, captain of this Wexford side. He gets his second point in his match.
This is some hurler, this Matthew O'Hanlon, Marty. 2 points from play so far. He's a great leader of the team, and Mark and Joe Canning is one thing, but just he's scoring points from play as well. He's very, very confident.
Well, the DNA is good because his grandfather, Mick O'Hanlon, was on the 1956 panel that won the All-Ireland. So the O'Hanlon name is a good one in Wexford. And he's not alone just a very good hurler, but he's a good leader as well, scoring 2 points. Let's go down to the sideline to Donald Grady.
Well, Marty, just looking at it there, Wexford seem to be in the ascendancy when you look at the game, but there's a free for Galway now, and they could end up, on level terms. And one thing I think Wexford will have to improve on there, Sean Murphy, the sweeper, has got 4 possessions so far, but really there's nothing productive has come off it. 3 of them have gone straight to the opponents, and 1 has dropped in a 50-50 ball and end up as a sideline for Galway. So that's something they'll have to improve on. But their work rate is incredible looking from the sideline, but now it's level terms again.
Joe Canning scoring his 4th point of the match. 4 frees, 4 points.
Yeah, Galway will be that little bit happier, I think, Marty. They haven't really settled into the game, and yet they're level after 26 minutes, and Wexford have done a lot of hurling.
Puck out again is aimed towards Lee Chin. Galway have the possession back momentarily. Lee has to fix the helmet as the sliotar is sent back towards Johnny Cohen. Down the middle it comes, and away come Galway. Niall Burke stopped in his tracks. Still can't control it, under pressure. Hits the ball well wide.
That was great pressure by Liam Ryan, but a terrible decision again by Niall Burke. There was no chance of a score from there. Never looked up, never tried to bring anybody else into the play. And some of the Galway forwards playing as individuals here. I think Micheál Dunner will not be happy with the teamwork in the Galway forwards.
Lee Chin seems to have picked up an eye injury, because I saw him. I thought it was his helmet that he was fixing, but I think he might have been taking off the helmet just to see just the right eye, as you can see. And medical team in. Dr. Pat Walsh, who's a GP in Enniscorthy, and the physio Harry Goff. This is what happened here as Lee Chin was challenging. There it is. And he got a clither across the ear there.
And a jab into the face, and Adrian Toohey lost possession. Very physical and tight exchanges, both teams hitting hard, and you wouldn't expect anything else in the Leinster final.
Davy Fitzgerald making the switch to give Lee Chin an opportunity to go forward and gather his thoughts, give him a chance to recover. As Mark Fanning again goes with the puck out down towards Jack Guiney. Once again, Matthew O'Hanlon very much involved. To his colleague in the half-back line, Dermot O'Keefe. Ball in was easily gathered by Aidan Hart. Lays it back for his John Hanbury. 50-50 ball won on this occasion. As Wexford again. Willie Devereux coming forward from right corner back. The cornerback is going to have a lash, and my word, Willie Devereux from the St. Martin's Club has scored his first point of the championship.
And that's a great score, Marty. That's 4 points from play from the Wexford backs. They obviously have a freedom to go where they want under Davy. They have the sweeper back there, and that's why it's effective, because they are moving forward and they're scoring like that from the back line. Brilliant hurling.
Willie Devereux, Matthew O'Hanlon, Dermot O'Keefe, cornerback, centre-back, wing-back, between them have scored 4 points. Trying to scoop it out is Matthew O'Hanlon indeed there. Number 6, Lee Chin has joined in. And it's Wexford that have the possession. And showing that he once played with the Wexford football team as well. Not just a hurler.
It wasn't the best kick ever, but...
He is some player, just 24 years of age, scored 9 points coming into this match. As sideline ball going to be taken by Joe Canning. Scored a spectacular goal against Kilkenny in the Leinster final 2 years ago. And that may be required again here this afternoon in Croke Park. Conor Cooney is winning every ball that goes into it. And from right along the sideline, he hits his 4th point of the game. Joe Canning is on 4 points, all from frees. Conor Cooney is on 4 points, all from play.
Yeah, brilliant score again. And just looking at Willie Devereux and Jason Flynn off the ball, there a bit of jabbing going on. Like, there is a bit of needless stuff as well. The referee is in there chatting to the two of them. But Galway very thankful except for Conor Cooney's contribution. He's on fire inside.
Galway are going to make a substitution. Thomas Monaghan is coming on, and it looks like Jason Flynn is the player that's going to make way. Saw Thomas Monaghan in a couple of league games this year, and he has been a regular substitute and has made a contribution. He's from Crowell, All-Ireland minor medalist in 2015, and this is his championship debut.
Yeah, I think they'll be looking for a little bit more fire. You know, he's a combative figure, Thomas Monaghan, and that's what they're lacking a little bit up front. Everyone's waiting to get a loose ball, and Conor Cooney really the only forward for Galway that's playing well so far.
Short puck out for Sean Murphy. Nipping in was Joseph Cooney, but Jack Guiney has it, leaving it into the middle. Bit of a hospital pass for MacDonald, but Conor did well. Leaves it back for his Lee Chin. Nice stick work, good wrist, great block down. Pulled on, first time, full marks, 10 out of 10 to Padraig Mannion. Thomas Monaghan gets a touch, and away come Galway, counter-attack mode, dropping this in from Niall Burke. Easy ball for Mark Fanning to gather, and he gives it plenty of air, dropping it way, way down, deep into Galway territory, and waiting for it superbly is Aidan Hart. He's playing well, good hands, good delivery, and sends it back into the Wexford half of the field. Sean Murphy managed somehow to pick the ball up, despite the first touch being a bit of a disappointment for him. The sideline ball coming to Galway. But again, it's a ball that should have been dealt with rather easily.
Yeah, but Niall Burke again before that, Marty, just a nameless shot into the goalie. And Mark Fanning, what a strike from him back up the field. Sean Murphy really should have worked that ball out better, and I think Joe Canning fancies a chance of putting this one over.
7 times they've been level in this opening half. 4 minutes to the break. Joe Canning, we've seen it so many times. Face of concentration. Dropping this in, it's a little bit short, and it's easily gathered again by Sean Murphy. Mark Fanning put under pressure, and his effort was almost blocked, and Galway possibly could make inroads here with John Hansbury going forward, and it's a free hit. And again, it was a decision by Sean Murphy, who has been outstanding all through the championship. Seemed to lack a little bit of confidence because some balls have gone astray. He brought his goalkeeper into it, and Mark Fanning's effort was, as you saw, almost blocked.
Well, you saw the angle he was trying to hit the ball. He was trying to put it back across the field, and you know, very, very dangerous thing, pucking it across his own goals, and got the touch, and that's a soft free, and Galway are going to lead now.
Port Dublin man Joe Canning taking his 5th free of the afternoon, and he taps that one over the bar. Galway lead by 1. Galway will gratefully accept it. Wexford will say, well, those are the sort of scores in the Leinster final you just can't afford to give away. Chasing after this is Lee Chin, Torrig Mannion, rock solid at wing back, scoops it away, gathers it up into the left hand and gives it back. There is Thomas Monaghan, pumps it into the space, and coming across is Sean Murphy. Sends it down towards Willie Devereux. Referee has blown his whistle. Devereux is on the ground. Thomas Monaghan has the slither, and Barry Kelly is doing the right thing, the linesman just making sure that the player is okay.
Yeah, as mentioned, Thomas Monaghan was combative, and he's gone into the book now very quickly after coming on. He's getting a yellow card.
So yellow card for the substitute just introduced a short time ago. Galway supporters not quite liking the decision. This is what happened again. Frontal charge by Thomas Monaghan.
Yeah, and he didn't go for the ball at all. You know, he went straight in over the ball. That's dangerous, and another day he could get a red for that. He didn't hit him maybe really hard. He just got it. He put him down, but didn't plant him, as they say.
I know what you mean, Michael. I used to suffer from that myself, I have to say, when I was playing at junior B level, as the ball is sent in to the right and wide. By the way, just to keep you count over the wides, that's the 3rd wide of the match for Wexford, and in contrast, 5 wides for Galway.
We used to say, Marty, he got him, but he didn't get him right.
Yes, I do recall the way you played, Michael Dagnan. Anyway, puck out from Colm Callanan, gathered superbly by Joseph Cooney, and Heath hits it onto his left, and that is over the bar. Good score. 2nd point by the man from Newen, the Sarsfields club, son of Joe. Fine catch. He made it himself, he created it, and he took it. Well done.
Lovely strike, Marty. See the way he spun the ball, just a little short backswing, he threw it out in front of himself. That's a great piece of skill by big man Joseph Cooney.
4 minutes of additional time, at least, going to be added on in this Leinster final first half. Good work here by Jack O'Connor. Coming across is Aidan Hart, who's doing well. Ball almost gathered by Conor MacDonald, or Jack O'Connor. Pulled on this time. Liam Ryan is moving out around the half back line, I noticed. Picked up on this occasion by Aidan Nolan. Pass back. Has to be gathered, vacuumed up by Matthew O'Hanlon. It was difficult. Again, nice whisk by Jack Guiney. Knocking it back for his Diarmuid O'Keefe. Didn't come up the first time. John Hanbury is there. Solid. Into the centre, clears Thomas Monaghan. Pass goes astray. And John Hanbury, let his feelings be known off camera. Davy Fitz is wondering why was that a free. And, getting a little bit animated as the free is for Galway, just inside their own 65-metre line. Joe Canning going to take this again. And there was a period of dominance that Wexford enjoyed. Galway seemed to have survived it, Michael, and right now there's a couple of easy scores that the Westerners have picked up.
Yeah.
And they're leading by 2.
They're getting their scores easier, Marty. That's the thing. They're not playing brilliantly, but they're getting their scores that bit easier. And a few more frees as well. Well, they're all frees. There's a great strike outside, I think.
Strike by Joe Canning, but it's gone to the right and wide. For Galway 6 wide of the match.
Galway really not fouling, but they're making good use of their sweeper. Aidan Hart on a lot of ball, but they've only given away 2 scoreable frees, whereas Joe Canning has scored 5, and that's the difference at the moment.
Tuck out again is aimed at Lee Chin. Gathers it. Gets by the first challenge, and the second, and the third, and the referee now allowing the advantage. He's given the free. Lee Chin fully deserved it. David Burke questioning the decision. As this is what happened here.
He was in around him. He made no attempt to tackle him. He went. John Hansbury put the arms around him, and that's the difficulty of refereeing, I think, in the modern game. Players are so strong, their upper body strength, and they're tackling so hard up there. Like, a lot of them are verging on fouls every time, and you can't pull for everything. So it sometimes gets a little bit frustrating. Some of them are pulled and some of them aren't, but I'd have sympathy for the refs.
This to reduce Galway's lead to 1 as we head to the break. And the ball is sent wide. Psychologically, not a good time to miss the free. And this is what Michael was saying earlier about in Wexford Park.
Yeah.
Conor McDonald just missed a couple of simple frees against
He's a great player, but he just not a brilliant free taker in my book.
Ball is dropping down. Chasing after it is Niall Burke. Joe Canning is hovering. He has the slipper. Liam Ryan stays goal side. Gives it back where's Burke, who got the ball initially. Great combination, but unfortunately, from his point of view, ball is wide. Still remains a 2-point game as we head towards the 39th minute of the first half.
Yeah, Galway really that's a terrible wide for a player like Niall Burke. Jason Flynn had a couple of very soft ones earlier, and some of Galway shooting very poor.
Tuck out is dropping. Oh, what a catch, Guy Burke. Brilliant. Back for his Aidan Hart, and Jack Downey came late on Aidan Hart like a steamroller, and Aidan Hart went down like a sack of spuds, and the referee's attention has been drawn to it. This was fabulous by Guy Burke. Gives it back to Aidan Hart, and in comes Jack Guiney. And the referee coming back to check that the player is okay. He's having a word as we look at the replay with Jack Guiney. Obviously spotted the late challenge and informed as well by his linesman. So this is going to be a yellow card. No doubt, correct call by the referee.
Yeah, right call. Look, just awkward. Head down, ploughed into him. No need for it followed through, and certainly a yellow card. In fairness, when he walked, he did get out of the way, but that's a very heavy tackle. There has been some very heavy hitting, Marty, and some of it, not within the rules of the game on both sides, I'd have to say.
Dr. Ian O'Connor checks that Aidan Hart is okay. And the free is going to be taken by Joe Canning. And Galway will find themselves 3 points in front, surely, at the break. 6 frees for Joe Canning, all of them raising white flag. And Micheál Donoghue will be well pleased, because Wexford did play well sporadically, made a huge effort, but they still find themselves trailing by 3 at the break. Interesting second half on its way. Analysis coming your way as well. Half-time score, Galway 14 points, Wexford 11.
So we are halfway through the 2017 Leinster Hurling Final. Galway leading Wexford by 14 points to 11. An attendance here of just over 60,000, and that, I can tell you, is a Leinster Hurling Final record. And I am sure every one of them enjoying what they've seen so far. We have 3 men in the studio. Ger, are you enjoying it?
Oh, we sure are, but I suppose there's a few things, first of all, that surprises us about it, that there are no real matchups in the game. Like, it's kind of the Kilkenny approach. Whoever is on you, you pick them up. You know, all speculation of what Davy would have done beforehand. And the second thing is, like, if somebody told you that Joe Canning, David Buck and Conor Whelan would be largely anonymous in the first half and Galway would be still leading at half-time, you'd hardly believe that, you know, because Wexford really have dominated the game, you know, all the 50-50 exchanges. They have, you know, what we expected. They come with savage intensity, with work rate, with closing down Galway. But Galway just have that facility to get the scores that little bit easier, and especially Conor Cooney inside and full forward. That has been the difference, really. Conor Cooney's 4 points from play has been the real difference. A big feature, of course, has been the scoring of the Wexford backs again. 4 points of play already. And what they do today when they score is they're back into their positions really fast. So they're not leaving their defence open. It seems an injustice that Galway are 3 points ahead, but it'll just tell you the quality they have at the same time.
I suppose as well, Ken, part of that is the fact that this is a big day for Wexford in the sense that they haven't been in this situation for a while. Do you think Galway, just because, as Ger said, they're not necessarily playing brilliantly, but they just seem to be more used to the occasion, maybe?
Yeah, at times it looks like it was Galway's first Leinster final and not Wexford. And that's, I suppose, Wexford done a lot of their hurling and to be 3 points down. A lot of the positives I even have written down here would be for Wexford, and yet Galway are 3 points up. And that's hurling, I suppose. And to me, Wexford played the way I probably thought Galway were going to play, getting the ball in fast and the defenders attacking in waves. And you said there are 4 points in play from the defence, and 30 minutes gone on the clock there, and Joe Canning was back centre back on Matthew O'Halloran. Matthew O'Halloran was the one pushing forward. And the likes of Joe, David Burke, Conor Whelan, massive players for Galway, non-existent from play. And Galway need them lads to up their game again, but in saying all that, they're 3 points up, which is kind of a bit strange.
For me, first of all, Galway haven't played much against this sweeper system. So today, it takes a bit of time to get used to the breakdown. The thing about Wexford, yes, they are playing well, but they still have only scored 11 points. They haven't threatened a goal. And to be fair, they are playing well, but like Jack Guiney is coming out to the half-forward line, so they're really pushed up the field. And that's why you have 4 defenders scoring, because they're coming on the overlap. So they are working hard to get their scores. But to win the game, they're going to have to be more offensive. I think Davy must have been talking to Gerard during the week, because Sean Murphy definitely sat back behind. He wasn't as exposed, he was behind, and he's played well, he's picked up those balls. So defensively, I think they're okay. It's just offensively, they are struggling.
All right, now let me just tell you that after today's Sunday game programme, you can hear more from our hurling guests on the weekend's big hurling matches, because you can join us on Facebook for that, and we would, of course, love your company. Meanwhile, after the commercial break, another chance for you to enter our Sunday game competition. Ready for the second half. Ger, where's the second half going to go?
Going back on what Henry said there before the break, are they going to push somebody forward? Will they win playing the way they're playing now? You just can't see them doing it because they're dominating so many positions, still not winning. You'd imagine that as if he can stay close to them, that they'll shove in Dave Redmond and Podge Doran, that they'll move men forward, big men, and play away more direct. I think if they do that, they're playing into Hill 16, they're scoring goals, if you like. I think they'll have a great chance.
Hill 16 with nobody on it today, because Hill 16 is closed. Ken, how's it for you?
Yeah, look, I think Galway, we're looking at the position we have behind the goal here. They're very narrow in the forward line. And it's only Conor Cooney and Joseph Cooney playing up the scratch, Galway need to up it. Said the big lads, Canning, Burke, Whelan, need to up it. But Wexford, as Ger said, need to push on a small bit more. I'd say they keep it tight for the next 10, 12 minutes. Lee Chin is doing good stuff on the ball when he gets it, but he needs to get on the ball more, get a score, maybe rise that Wexford crowd, the massive Wexford crowd, get Jack Guiney, make that ball stick and try and create something from that. But I think it's going to be a good second half.
And there's a change, gentlemen, on the Wexford team, if I can just identify that for you. It is... Dave Redmond. Dave Redmond is coming on for Jack Conor. Let's ask a fellow with a lorry load of Leinster medals who's going to take home medals out of this.
I never played in front of a crowd like this, but to be honest, I'm more interested to see what Galway. I know we're all, because Wexford are new and stuff like that, but we're talking about as hurling men, Galway has been serious All-Ireland contenders. So really, they haven't played well. Their marquee players haven't played well. But the years past in finals, those marquee players were playing well in the first half. And what matters most is when the pressure comes on with 20, 15 minutes to go, this Wexford crowd get behind them, then you need Joe to stand up, then you need David Burke to stand up. And so far, you know, Galway have done the thing, but I'll be interested to see what they bring. I honestly can't see Wexford scoring enough. They're going to need to score a couple of goals to win this match, and I don't see it happening.
Let's see what happens. There is the change on your screen, and to find out more about that, let's go back to Marty and Michael.
Thank you very much, Michael. Yes, David Redmond won All-Ireland and Leinster intermediate medals. He's the elder lemon of this Wexford squad, 30 years of age. Scored a goal against Kilkenny and has been playing with Wexford since his championship debut against Dublin back in 2008. So where we go, we've had a little bit of rain, a little bit of drizzle. Now we have a bit of sunshine. You have everything in this Leinster hurling final as Aidan Hart throws the ball diagonally over towards the corner flag, down by the Hogan stand and the Davin end. Great block down as Conor Cooney was going again for a point. Good work on this occasion by James Breen, but it comes instead to Conor Whelan, tearing into the centre. Here comes Cooney, confronted by a hefty shoulder. There's a chance here, and it's good work in fact by Johnny Cohen, and the ball comes back outside as Diarmuid O'Keefe comes away with it, flicks it for as Matthew O'Hanlon. Burst past the first challenge, sees that a Wexford man is available, about to be hooked, has to go the short grip and send it into the space. Chasing after this is Conor MacDonald. With him staying tight is Pádraig Mannion, obviously earmarked to mark him all the way to the final whistle. Wexford still have the possession, they now have the fray.
Yeah, Marty, good start. Just watching there, Joe Canning has started off, went in corner forward, but he's back out again now. Thomas Monaghan started the centre forward the second half, but important block there from Wexford. The goal looked on there. Conor Whelan looked inside. He gave it to Johnny Cohen. I think Joseph Cooney was the right option if he had seen him, but he didn't see him. Passed it to Johnny Cohen, and he was the chance was snuffed out.
Conor MacDonald scored 3 times in the first half from the Naveana club in Gorey. Hits this. It's dropping, and it's dropping over the bar. The umpires are in no rush down at the 16 end. They're not going to break into a sweat, I have to say, the Cork lads, but fair play to them to have it spot on. That's over the bar, and it's a point for Wexford.
Yeah, a good free now. To be fair to Conor, he missed one, an easy one before half-time. That was a tough one from out the other sideline. Good score.
There's a Hawkeye requirement, actually. Despite the point being given, you can see that Conor Lyons is double-checking.
Yeah, well, that would be the Hawkeye would automatically contact the ref there if they thought there was a doubt about it. So
let's have a look here. Is it a thaw or a kneel? A yes or a no? It is a kneel. Ball is wide. Scoreline remains 14 points to 11.
To take back what I said about a good free, but that shows you the importance of Hawkeye. I wonder how many points over the years were given or not given that were over. So good use there. Willie Barrett obviously picked that one up inside, and a good call.
Puck out, dropping down just outside the Wexford 45-metre line. Gone inside is Johnny Cohen, giving it quickly for his Conor Whelan. Conor Whelan battling on this occasion with James Breen, but Wexford have the situation under control. Ball into space. Good vision, good call by Gearóid McInerney. Far as Joe Canning. Thought about the diagonal ball for a moment, then finally decided. Conor Whelan gets away from the shackles of James Breen. Conor Whelan, front of the Cusick, drops this in, and the ball again, wrong side of the post, and wide.
Yeah.
8 wides for Galway, Michael.
Yeah, feature of the play, that wasn't really on either. You know, he didn't try to make an angle, bring someone else into the game, just took a shot and hope for the best, and another poor wide by Galway.
Loose ball available for Pádraig Mannion. Battling with him is Conor MacDonald. Little jink to the left and right. Flicks it into the middle, and here comes Aidan Nolan. He's inside the cover. Can he pull the trigger? He can. Stopped by Colm Callanan. The sliotar is still available. Comes back outside towards Adrian Tuohy, and the ball is given, and the decision is given as a penalty. No doubt in the eyes and mind of Colm Lyons, but there was panic in the Galway defence.
Great piece of skill there by Aidan Nolan, but he gave the foul for that. A little bit of a trip. It was a great chance for goal. The vision of Conor MacDonald to pick out Nolan. We'll have to see it again to see if there was a foul there. But the referee, he did stumble inside in the square, and he gave the penalty.
Well, a crucial moment in the Leinster final 2017. Conor MacDonald from Gorey Colm Callanan from Kinvara, all-star goalkeeper a few seasons ago. Hits it low and Callanan saves. Fantastic save by Callanan. Out for a 65, driven like a bullet into the bottom left-hand corner, and Callanan leapt to his left. What a fantastic save.
Well, I agree with you, Marty. Absolutely unbelievable. Top drawer. A brilliant strike by McDonald. In fairness, and he couldn't do it. Low into the corner, and just how he got down to that and saved. A brilliant piece of skill by Callanan.
All-star goalkeeper 2015. And the goalkeeper will be celebrating his 35th birthday in 16 days' time.
He hasn't lost any of his brilliant instincts. That's a great, great save.
Lee Chin with the 65. Will Wexford get something out of this sequence of play? Missed penalty. They surely need to get a point. Here's Lee. And here's the point. It's his second in Croke Park. Just watch this again. He hit it well, low along the ground, and Callanan judged it perfectly.
And here we go. Yeah, little pull back, good call, and really great chance for a goal. They got a point over it at the end, but really, Wexford would be disappointed in a great chance of a goal in such a tight game.
Joe Canning floating one in. Goalkeeper Mark Fanning calls for it, and it's gone out for a 65 as Conor Whelan arrived in.
Another hopeful ball in, and I think Mark Fanning would be disappointed didn't deal with it. Conor Whelan made a nuisance of himself. You'll see him here. He followed in very well in first. Conor Whelan, you'll watch him here coming into the picture, and he caused a bit of confusion there. He got in there in the middle of them and just flicked off a Wexford man out for the 65.
And the umpires down at the Davin end, Kieran Hanley from the Brian Dillon's club in Cork and Johnny Barry from Ballinure, working with Cullum Lyons this afternoon. Joe Canning scored 6 points in the first half. Concentrating on the job at hand, and he raises the flag for the 7th time and first time in the second half.
Yeah, Marty, just waiting for the game really to get going. There was a few patches in the first half, but Galway have loads of experience in Croke Park. They were here in the All-Ireland semi-final last year, the final year before, with a lot of those players, and yet they're playing, they're not playing with the sort of flair that you'd expect, especially up front.
They're getting a sideline ball out of this, but the short puck out is working fine, but it's the distribution from there is a bit poor.
Yeah, it's both teams. They're getting very hard to get into scoring positions, and they're shooting under pressure from out the field. They're not trying to bring other players into it. So look at Wexford. Wexford, I think, deserves to be closer than they are with the domination they've had. Hayden
Nolan, I should say, with the sideline ball, dropping this in, gathered by his opposite number 9, David Burke, and Galway come away with it once more. They're aiming for Conor Cooney, and I don't blame them. 4 points, 4 touches, 5 touches, 5 points. Very impressive. St. Thomas's man is showing leadership. You can give the ball dirty to him, the 50-50 ball. He'll work hard for it, he'll turn, and using the short wrists, puts it over the bar.
Yeah, and he got a clip. You just think Simon Dunn better off going for the ball. He seems to be trying to play the man, and Conor Cooney is too good a hurler for that. Great catch there by Garrett McInerney.
Wonderful catch by Garrett McInerney, laying it off. It comes to Cooney again, going for his 7th touch. 7th point, is it? Nope. Ball is wide. First miss from Conor Cooney, 9th wide of the match for Galway. Puck out not working well, just about. Good work on this occasion by David Redmond. Ball into the centre, coming across is Johnny Cohen. Johnny says he'll deal with an interception. Chasing after it is Matthew O'Hanlon, trying to get there, but Johnny Cohen wins the 50. Down for his Phelan. Phelan looks, see if anybody's available. Seems to be a high challenge. Knocked it back for his Niall Burke. Referee allows the advantage. Perhaps now he's given the free. I think he's now given the free with a crowd of 60,032, which is a record for a Leinster hurling final, surpassing the attendance of, what was it, 55, I think?
55 and a half, I think, about 97, yeah.
It is hard to hear the referee's whistle, but he's given a free on this occasion to Galway.
Yeah, it was a free. We mentioned it in the first half. The discipline of Wexford backs not up to scratch. There's a difference between passion and discipline. You have to keep your discipline. They're giving away, and when this man is on song, he doesn't miss too many.
Once again, it's Joe Canning. He'll be 29 in October. And that's 8 points for the centre-half forward from Portumna.
And a 7 frees to 4, you know, that's the difference in the game so far. Wexford need to mark tighter, to have a sweeper back there. There's no need to be giving away those silly frees.
Puck out from Mark Fanning again. He's aimed all the time for Lee Chin. He can't gather it cleanly. Ball is given away to Conor MacDonald. He hits the shot, but the umpire is going to signal wide.
Very poor wide by Conor. He'd be very disappointed with that. And
they need to play it around a little bit. This is where the inexperience of playing, I mean, they've gone from playing Walsh Cup with 2,000 because of Davy Fitzgerald's arrival to 60,000 in the space of 6 months.
Yeah, it's massive progress, but they're here to win at the same. There's Niall Burke with a disappointing first half and a great catch.
Here's Niall Burke, as Michael says, and Niall Burke supplies his first point in this Leinster final. For more and more Marie.
A great catch. You just get the feeling now that the Galway forwards beginning to get to grips. Conor wheeling more in the game since half-time. That was a great catch by Niall Burke and a super point. But since half-time, I think the Galway forwards playing an awful lot better.
Puck out again is changed by Mark Fanning, picked up by Paul Morris. As Wexford tried to find the rhythm in the second half. The shooting is a disappointment. 7 wides for Wexford now. And David Fitzgerald is urging again from the sideline. Continue to believe, continue to work hard. Sign of a really good goalkeeper who had nothing really to do in the first half and then produces a penalty save. He gives the ball out to Joseph Cooney, who catches the ball like his dad did many, many times in the middle of Croke Park. It's his 3rd point of the game, but this is superb. Straight from Callanan's puck out. Here comes Joe Cooney. Here comes the point.
Yeah, massive catch and strike, and that's the best score of the game so far. You know, as I said, Galway just creeping away now, 7 points up now all of a sudden, now 10 minutes into the second half.
Brilliant catch by John Hansbury. Sending it down towards Cooney. Conor Cooney was fouling on this occasion. Liam Ryan gets a free for Wexford. Let's go down to the sideline to Donald O'Grady.
Yeah, well, Marty, Liam Ryan from Wexford has been moved on into Conor Cooney, but Galway really in the last few matches have moved the ball from the half back directly to the half forward line, but Wexford have clogged that up, and Johnny Cohn mistimed a good few runs and he was only bringing the Wexford player back into it, but Galway I think are seeking to open up that avenue now so that their half forwards get possession and then they can supply the inside line, so they're beginning to get a little bit of a grip around their half forward line.
So Owen Moore from Outlet the Balloch coming on for Simon Donoghue. Normally plays, as Donald was mentioning, in defence, and he has the ball immediately. Wexford need to respond. Here comes Paul Morris. Slither dropped as Galway put the pressure on. Ball almost given away by Dahi Burke, but gathered by John Hansbury, who lays it off in turn for his David Burke. In load for his Conor Whelan. Wexford, James Breen under pressure, but he's stick to his task admirably. Reinforcements have arrived. Matthew O'Hanlon just got a little touch. Joe Canning is battling in there. Matthew O'Hanlon tries to get in front of him. Ball is coming back out as the ball is dropped in, and that too is wide. As Michael Duignan said a while ago, we're waiting for this game to sparkle. It's intense, but it's not brilliant.
No, and you know, again, poor selection there. You know, Thomas Monaghan just never looked up, never looked around to see what the option is. There's Pádraig Mannion was having a fantastic year.
The Haska Fohada. Pádraig Mannion is a good player. Won a minor All-Ireland at left corner back in 2011. What a superb catch. Lovely to watch. Plays football with Caltra and hurling with a Haska Fohada. Seven points between the teams. Galway coming to terms with the challenge of the Slaney-siders in the second half. But the 16th man I'm beginning to hear more and more of. The people of Wexford are getting behind him. The free by Joe Canning is straight between the posts, and the Galway fans respond equally. What a brilliant point from its own half of the field.
Yeah, he made it look like a 21-yard free. You know, that's on the angle, it must be 100 yards, and he just flicked it over the bar. And Marty, on that point about Galway, I think what you won't realise about Galway, they're a few more years on the road from Wexford. Their physicality is unbelievable. They're a huge team, very athletic, and they'll wear you down, you know, you'll see the top teams typically are the only team over the last 5 or 6 years that can live with Galway because of that sort of power and strength.
Brilliant caught by David Burke. Stylish hurler from St. Thomas's. Great Burke family, Ron Peter as well. Ball comes to Joseph Cooney. 4 points for the Sarsfields man. Sheer utter class. From one classy player called David Burke from St. Thomas's to another Joseph Cooney from Sarsfields.
Yeah, and he left Lee Chin in his wake. And if you were coaching a young fella wing forward, that's the type of play. He made a run, he took the chance, it broke off Conor Cooney, and in full flow picked it up. And it's a game that become the game of his life for Joseph Cooney. He's had an outstanding game here so far, 4 points from playing.
Ball given to Owen Moore by Sean Murphy. 2 number 9s are playing ping pong down there because Aidan Nolan had it. Comes to David Burke and Aidan Nolan blocked it subsequently. Sideline ball for Galway, quickly taken. Sean Murphy comes across, lays it off for his Lee Chin. Leadership now required. Scores vital in front of the Hogan. Lee Chin hits this, but it's gone. Oh, he's looking for Hawkeye. Hawkeye is employed for the second time. Let's see what the result is here. And again we ask, is it a thaw or a kneel?
To score Wexford badly need. They've only scored 1 point from half time. The feeling was it was in.
Here's the result. Looks good. Confirmed. Point by Lee Chin. And very badly needed from a Wexford perspective. There's a bit of a gap, but there's plenty of time. 19 minutes to rectify the situation from a Wexford perspective. Sean Murphy again. Back there is that extra defender. A tactic that has worked well for Wexford in the past. Conor McDonald under a lot of pressure. Lays it off as Wexford go into the attack. As David Redmond dropping it in. Ball is kept in and pulled on by Jack Guiney. Ball is still in play somehow. And Guiney gets inside. The Wexford cover the ball inside and it's a goal. Dermot O'Keefe. 10 out of 10 to Jack Guiney. He never, ever gave up. And in comes Dermot O'Keefe, the wing back, and scores a goal. And Wexford, Slaney-siders, sunny southeast, the sun is shining now. They're back in the game.
Yeah, credit Jack Guiney, as you say. Brilliant effort there by him. He won the ball. And look at where did Dermot O'Keefe come out of from wing back. He must have ran 60, 70 yards to get at the end of that. And badly needed for the game, I think, and spark a bit of life into it. I think Wexford deserve it. I don't think they deserve to be 8 or 9 points down the way they've played.
Puck out comes to Joe Cooney. Has it the legs. And has it. Mark Fanning is there. And Fanning will give it loads. Deep into Galway half of the field. Lee Chin running onto it. Paul Morris trying to get it up on the hurling. In comes Harry Kill. Stalemate. Sliotar becomes available. And it's Galway to come away with it eventually. David Burke just wouldn't come up for him, and suddenly Jack Guiney is throwing himself around the place, and Wexford beginning to believe in themselves a little bit more. Thomas Monaghan skips away from the challenge, came on as a substitute in the league final against Tipperary and scored a point. He's trying to do the same here, but the ball is wide. Listen to the roar of 60,032. And wherever you're watching the match, from Salt Hill to Gorey, from New York to Dubai on GA Go, now we have a game. 17 minutes to go as Wexford introduce another substitute. This is Kyle Dunbar from Ballygarrett. Good player, this guy. I've seen him in the past.
He's very good. I saw him in the Under-21 semi-final against Offaly. He had a super game that evening down Wexford Park. And bad wides on both sides. You know, that was a crucial one by Thomas Monaghan. Again, an easy chance from 40 yards. And especially after Wexford getting the goal, Galway looking to react, but a poor wide.
Well cleared by Pádraig Mannion. Knocked away superbly by Breen. Comes down for his Matthew O'Hanlon. Hits a fair shoulder on Conor Whelan. Gives it back for Sean Murphy, who pumps it into the space. Coming across at speed. Anticipation superb. Reading of the game excellent. It's Aidan Hart. Coming out to meet it first time is Liam Ryan. Leaves it behind him. Up goes Joseph Cooney. Flicked away. First time in the air that we don't often see anymore. Here comes Willie Devereux getting away from Paul Morris. Or to Paul Morris. Paul Morris trying to knock it back. The man available is the wing back who scored the goal. Paul Morris showing our footballers in Wexford. Knocks it back. In comes Willie Devereux. Sideline ball. High challenge as the Fulham lines, and Davy Fitzgerald is so energetic when he wins the decision. Now he's telling his players once again, believe.
I think he won that free for them. I don't think the ref was giving him a free, and Davy got into his ear fairly lively, and next day he gave it.
Well, he's no longer in his box in Wexford Park when he was suspended for a number of weeks. It's been an amazing journey when you think of Davy Fitzgerald since he arrived. Promotion from Division 1B to 1A, beat Kilkenny twice in the league and the championship, and then got suspended for 8 weeks. It's been remarkable.
And the heart are shown today. You know, that's Davy. He's written all over this performance. They're not giving up.
Conor MacDonald, vital free. Will it curl in? It looks good to me. It's over the bar. 5th point of the game. They've been quiet for a little while, but they're now alive. But full credit to Jack Kiney from Rathnewer. Others would have given up, but he stayed with it, unselfishly giving it across. In comes Dermot O'Keefe, goal. Matthew O'Hanlon, battling with Joe Canning, ball bobbling. Canning has it, referee is watching, lays it back. Where is Conor Cooney? Conor Cooney takes a shot, and once again, it's Conor Cooney with his 6th point of the game. Everything he does is just magical.
It is a brilliant score, but Joe Canning, you know, people say he hasn't scored from play in this game, but his link play, he's looking up all the time. He's the one forward on both teams that's really looking to bring other players into the game, and that was a lovely quick hand pass and made the room for Conor Cooney and sticks it over. 6 points from play.
Sideline ball going to Galway. Let's go down to the sideline to Donald O'Grady.
Marty, just from my position here, that little purple patch that Wexford had, Sean Murphy had a huge influence in that, got 3 possessions and used the ball very productively, and they got a goal and a couple of points and brought them back into the game. But looking at Galway, there's no teamwork, there's no composure, there's no sort of linking play between the half forward and the full forward line, and Mark Fanning has had an easy ride so far.
Fantastic catch by Conor Whelan. The referee has blown his whistle. I have to say I really like the hurling skills of Conor Whelan, because he's only 20 years of age. He won't be 21 until October 31st. But a 50-50 ball, you let it in low, you let it in high, Conor Whelan will more than likely win it.
Yeah, 56 minutes gone, he hasn't scored, which is hard to believe. I think it was at 7 or 8 points from play the last day against Offaly. Obviously a different game today, but Conor Cooney taking this free as well. I don't know why Joe isn't.
Change of free taking, but when Joe, I remember, was out injured a couple of seasons ago, it was Conor Cooney.
Yeah, he just get a bit of treatment out the field there, and Conor Cooney tapped that one over.
That's an easy one for Conor. 7 points he scored. And off camera, it looks like a wrist injury that Joe has picked up, but he seems he's kind of waving it in the air, shaking it off as such. And meanwhile, Wexford's puck out is a poor one, and it gives the advantage again to Galway. 13 minutes left in this Leinster final. 23 points to 17, or 23 points to 114. He's still shaking that left hand, trying to knock that bang that he got. But right now he'll be concentrating on this sideline catch. He's just inside the Wexford 45. There he is. He cuts it in. Oh, fantastic. Wrist problem or no wrist problem, when you've got it, you've got it. And Joe Canning has the X factor.
Yeah, that's a great strike. We've seen it many, many times. It didn't just go over the bar, it went 30, 40 yards over. Brilliant strike.
And just when Wexford had found their rhythm, Galway respond. Sign of a really good side. Ball down towards Conor Whelan and Conor Cooney. The two Conors are posing Wexford serious problems. Conor Cooney is on 8 points. Joe Canning is on 10 points.
Yeah,
18 between the two of them.
Conor Whelan, look at the strength of the man, and he just broke that ball down. And Conor Cooney, you know, they've tried a couple of different markers on him. It's making no difference. He's just on one of those days, and that was the, I suppose, worry coming into this game from a Wexford point of view. The full backline a little bit loose, and Conor Cooney certainly availing of that today. He's having a fantastic game.
High challenge, and Adrian Toohey. And that's going to be a free for Galway. But Galway have scored 25 points in this Leinster final. I think 33 was it against Offaly?
33 against Offaly, yeah. Thanks for reminding me of that.
Sorry, Michael. But
Paul Morris hit, that was a fair belt into the, again, high. A lot of players going in very high in the tackle today. You know, you've seen a lot of players down. You'd wonder if there wasn't helmets in the modern game. There's, I think you're trying to control.
the fourth official is having a word with Davy Fitzgerald, and he's advising him where he needs to be. And Davy, I don't think, is listening or doesn't want to listen. And the linesman or the fourth official is emphasising. I think something happened off camera, but let's concentrate on what we have here. Davy is still trying to encourage. Adrian Toohey is the player that's down injured from Beha in South Galway, very close to Tubber. Club, of course, of the Gantleys, Rory and Finbar.
Fine player, Adrian Toohey. I know Joe Canning got the bad injury last year against Tip, but I think Adrian Toohey was having a fantastic game that day as well. He went off very, very solid. Marker John Milan was talking to me about him earlier, and he said there's one lad off the Galway team he wouldn't like to mark. He said he was still playing. He thinks he's an exceptional cornerback.
Ball is dropping in. Chasing after it. It's an opportunity, but the ball is well wide.
We've seen some amazing wides. It's amazing Galway have 25 points on the board and 12 wides.
12 wides, Galway.
And 6 or 7 of them really easy chances, you know, that you'd normally expect. You'll always have a few, but
Joseph Cooney has scored 4 points, but that will be disappointed with that last one. It went astray. Wexford keep the pressure on. Coming across is Aidan Hart, flicking it forward. Over for the Galway captain, David Burke. Off camera, Joe Canning is down injured as Niall Burke tries to squeeze this in. Oh, he did a great job. Beautiful strike. Niall Burke with his second point of the game. And that's what we saw just a second ago off camera. I was telling you about Joe Canning. The wrist injury seems to be fine, but now he seems to be suffering a little bit from cramp.
I think he got a knock where he caught the last puck out and he took a hefty shoulder.
Owen Moore trying to drop this in towards Jack Guiney. David Redmond chases after it. Still David Redmond. There's an opportunity here as Wexford try and squeeze this past a determined Galway defence. Guy Burke manages to get it away. And good play. Finally by a defence that has coped with the Wexford attack for most of the afternoon here in Croke Park. One man up is Niall Burke. The referee blows his whistle. And that's going to be free for Galway.
Yeah, Conor Whelan fouled out the side and he played the advantage. Just Whelan with a great pick up there again and trying to get away. He's just fouled there, and another chance here to Conor Cooney probably take this.
Joe Cooney seems to be, or Joe Canning, I should say, seems to be okay. He got the medical attention, and he takes his place in the middle of the field. Meanwhile, Wexford are going to introduce Shane Tompkins from Kilrush Ascamore. Made his debut against Clare a few seasons ago. Lovely area of Wexford between Bunclody and Ferns. Scored a point against Kilkenny. And with 8 minutes left in the match, Wexford need scores and need them badly, I'm afraid. 17 points to 26, 114 to 26. Conor Cooney taking over the free-taking responsibilities from Joe Canning. And that looks to be tailing to the left and wide. So Galway have registered 13 wides, but they still have managed 26 points in a Leinster hurling final. Still impressive. Short puck out again from Mark Fanning. Ball into space. Owen Moore has switched from right wing to left wing. Wins the hard ball. Gets it inside into the centre. Trying to manage something here is Shane Tompkins. David Burke, David Redmond. There's 2 players inside. Coming across is John Hansbury. Clear down the line. Wexford never giving up, but never really threatening. That Galway defence looks very solid. And back they will try once more. Coming across to pick this up is Joe Canning. Takes the hit, gathers the slither, and leaves it off far as David Burke. Good play. Shane Murphy. switching the slither over towards the Cusack stand side. Gearóid McInerney battling with Paul Morris. He's a big man, Gearóid McInerney, following in the footsteps of other big, strong centre-half backs for Galway when you think of Sean Silk and Tony Keady. And it's Wexford again, battling hard. In far as Jack Guiney, who created the goal opportunity. Flicks it inside, here's the shot! And that is gone into the side netting and wide.
Great bit of build-up play there. Willie Devereux, again, brilliant run up the field into Jack Guiney, and good chance. They are creating a little bit of space inside, creating that extra man, but again, you'll see it here. Matthew O'Hanlon, after Joe Canning is after drifting way back into the half-back line and bringing Matthew O'Hanlon up the field. I see him going back up now.
Puck out goes as far as John Hansbury. He's dropping this in. And once again, it's Sean Murphy that's back there helping out Liam Ryan. Coming down for Shane Tompkins. Lays it off quickly for his the referee's man, Liam Ryan. Tompkins again into the centre for his Paul Morris. This is good play by Wexford, building it up slowly. Stopped on this occasion by Joe Canning. Seem to have been fouling the corner forward, and it's a free in for Wexford.
He held him up, you know, you'd be saying use your body in the tackle. He did that well, but I think the ref has been consistent in that. Anything high like that he's been pulling for.
Four minutes left in this Leinster hurling final. Conor MacDonald looks at the target at the Hill 16 end and takes his point. 6 points for the Gorey man. And Wexford get a little bit closer, but the clock is ticking towards the magic number from a Galway perspective of 70 minutes. I'm sure there'll be a little bit more. Leach in, driving it forward up towards Jack Guiney. Knocked away once again. Good work by Adrian Toohey. Aiming for Conor Wheeler. Knocking it down for us, Joseph Cooney, and Cooney is swinging this in. Brilliant play by Joseph Cooney. 5 points from play.
Yeah, very impressive. On a day when I think Joe Canning just gone after now, he took a couple of heavy knocks. Took the frees very well, involved in the game quite enough in the first half, but more influential in the second half. But really, Joseph Cooney and Conor Cooney, the two Cooneys, it's their Leinster final today. Some brilliant scores from both of them.
Onto the field is Shane Maloney, who scored that sensational winner a few seasons ago against Tipperary in the All-Ireland semi-final. As the ball is hand-passed too strongly, and that's going to be a sideline ball for Wexford. Let's get on to the sideline to see what Donald Grady is watching.
Well, I'm surprised, Marty, that you know, especially when Galway were dominant in their inside attack, that they've left really Conor Cooney almost on his own, and Conor Whelan just outside him. Now they've pushed Thomas Monaghan on a little bit, but obviously it's a pride issue that when they get 5 or 6 or 7 or 8 points up, that they drop people back. And Joe Canning was playing most of the second half around midfield, centre back, and Shane Maloney has adopted that game now. So maybe that's their strategy. When they get ahead, just kill the game and win out the game by 5 or 6 points, and they're happy enough with that.
Galway introduce Greg Lally, and Joseph Cooney gets a warm round of applause. My word, he deserves it. He really has matured into a wonderful hurler, and 5 points from play is awesome.
It is, and he's added a lot more. His ladder's improving all the time, adding something different to his game. He looks to me a lot pacier than he was over the last couple of years, and some great finishing. So fantastic game. And Greg Lally more of a back. So I think what Donald was saying, they're obviously just going to maybe drop a man or two back now and make sure to win this.
Colm Callanan taking the free. He played his part with that brilliant penalty save, dropping it in. There's danger for Wexford, but they should have the situation under control. And once again, it's Sean Murphy. Good ball out for Dermot O'Keefe. Ball into space. Well gathered. Nice turn. Good play indeed by Cathal Dunbar. He's a good young fella, and he drives this in and over the bar. Scored a hat-trick of goals against Carlow in an under-21 match a couple of weeks ago, and certainly is a man that we're going to hear a lot more of. His name, Cathal Dunbar.
He's very good, Mark. That's a great score. You know, Adrian Toohey picked it up, beat him, jinked inside, and I think he's a fella that we're going to see starting for Wexford, I think, later in this championship. He's a big player for the future.
3 minutes at least going to be added on. But right now, Galway's second Leinster title looks pretty secure as they go for another score. Shane Maloney from Tina Aberdeeniri is hardly on the pitch, and he's another man like Cathal Dunbar at the other end. You're going to hear a lot more about him.
I think so. He's a lovely finisher. I think some of the shooting in Galway erratic today. Still a massive score, putting up 28 points, but they had a lot of wides as well, and he's a man who doesn't miss very often.
Galway with possession. Sending it down to Shane Maloney. It runs on as Galway build up the momentum slowly. Thomas Monaghan sending it forward. But right now, for the first time, there's a few people heading home, because I think it's acknowledged that Galway have won their second Leinster title, their first since 2012. But wait, here come Kerry. It's that man again, Dermot O'Keefe, who flicks it in towards Jack Guiney, and Colm Callanan manages to save the 65. It looked like Galway were going to be exposed, but Callanan, when they do break down the defence, Galway have a top-class goalkeeper. And here comes Thomas Monaghan, as I mentioned earlier, scored a point in the league final, scores a point in the Leinster final. Very impressive.
Niall Burke and Owen Moore had a bit of a wrestling match off the ball. Now the ref has gone over to the two of them. I think we're going to see 2 yellow cards.
The referee, Colin Lyons, having a word with Niall and Owen Moore. We're into injury time. Yellow card for both. This is what was going on off camera.
Harmless now at this stage of the game, into injury time.
It's Sean Loftus that's on for Galway, and gone off is Pádraig Mannion. Puck out from Mark Fanning. Ball is beautifully caught by David Burke. The high fielding, the handling, the skill of so many of these Galway players, so impressive this afternoon. Free in for Wexford. It's on the 45-metre line. But right now, it's a 10-point gap, and it'll only put a better complexion on the scoreboard.
There's no Galway well in control, obviously. You see that in the scoreboard. You see some of the wides they had. They could have had another 6 or 7 points. But one thing maybe worrying, they haven't scored a goal in the 2 games now, against Offaly or against Wexford here today. And if you're going to win in All-Ireland, you're going to need to score goals. You won't put up 30 points every day you go out. I know they're an exceptional forward line, but I think they'll be disappointed. Didn't even really create any goal chance today.
Lee Chen, just inside the Galway 45-metre line, takes the free and takes the point. His fourth. 9 points between the teams. It's certainly a turning point in this Leinster final was the early stages of the second half with that brilliant save from the penalty.
It was. Wexford really came into the game for that 5 or 6 minutes, and brilliant save by Callan down low at his post, crucial at that stage.
Somehow Conor Cooney got a hurley to it. Owen Moore gathers it. And the referee blows the full-time whistle, it would appear. No, he's not. The crowd thought, we all thought. And it's going to be a free for Wexford. Going to be taken by Lee Chin.
I think he showed someone a yellow card there too in the middle of it to see who it was.
Ball is dropping in. Gerard McInerney is there. And the referee now blows the full-time whistle. And Galway are the Leinster champions 2017. They win their second title. Their first was in 2012. They joined the Leinster Championship in 2009. But today, Micheál Donoghue congratulates one of his players, Pádraig Mannion. but there is no argument. Galway were the better team.
Yeah, they were, Marty, and I think you get the feeling here at the match, playing well within themselves. There is another gear in Galway, and it's still very impressive. They have been impressive all year. Brilliant in the league final against Tipperary, and they've just strolled through Leinster, really. And as I said, they look to have a bit more in the tank. One worrying thing, I suppose, the few injuries they've had. Cathal Mannion gone today, Paul Killeen out as well, and who else went off today? Joe going off there carrying a bit of an injury. So, you imagine maybe their strength and depth be tested a little bit later in the year, but they look very, very comfortable. And to me, Galway and Cork have been the two teams in the championship so far that impressed me the most, and both of them with great forward lads.
Well, I know, obviously, because of my work, that I meet a lot of the Galway players, and they're very tall, very strong, but absolutely very talented as well to match it.
They are, and they have a massive, if you look at their age profile, like apart from Conor Whelan who's 20, they have an awful lot of lads in their mid-20s, 25 to 27 or 8, and that's the type of age profile you need. They're very mature, very experienced, and the big question is going to be, when the pressure really comes on, All-Ireland semi-final, All-Ireland final, the fact they haven't won for so long, is that going to get back inside their heads? But certainly at the moment they're doing everything right, and their key men, quiet enough today, like David Burke, Joe Canning, not really as influential as they normally are, but the likes of Aidan Hart, that role he's playing at the back now. Teams are going with sweepers against him, and he's too good a hurler to leave loose. He's picking up balls, he's spraying them all over the place, and they're picking off 29 scores today, which could have been 39 if the truth be known.
Absolutely. Well, around Gort and Woodford and Ardbraghan and Turlockmore, Capitagal, Peterswell, they will enjoy this. They're the league champions 2017, they're the Leinster champions 2017. Galway, very impressive. Full-time score, Galway 29 points, Wexford 117. Let's go down to Joanne along the sideline.
Yeah, Galway very impressive. Conor Cooney very impressive. Conor, was that a bit of a dream Leinster final for you?
Yeah, look, we knew coming up here we get a very stern test with Wexford. They're a powerful team, and Dave Fitzgerald has done an excellent job since winning in there. And look, we played them earlier on in the year, and I suppose we owed them one, so we came up here with a job to do. Luckily, we did it very professionally, and look forward to the next game now.
Yeah, it was very tight in the first half. What was the difference between the first and second half?
Yeah, it was very, very tight, very close weather, very warm. Yeah, I suppose it just opened up a small bit. The Wexford played a very tough running game, and luckily enough, it just seemed to open up for us a bit, and we started opening up in the second half and came away with a good few scores. And once we built up that lead, we didn't let go, and yeah, we were happy enough.
Well, Conor Cooney, what a performance! Well done.
Thanks very much.
Looking forward to, since they entered the Leinster Championship in 2009, considering the talent that they have, there's been disappointment in the hurling hotbeds, particularly around South Galway. But Micheál Donoghue has done a tremendous job, and these players are fully focused. They were the hot favourites for this Leinster title, but they stayed very calm and collected, and eventually found their rhythm. And certainly the turning point was that brilliant save, for me at least, when Colm Callanan saved that penalty, and Galway seemed to move on from there. 33 points in a Leinster semi-final, 29 points in a Leinster final. It sends out a clear signal that Galway are very much the team in form, as Galway go up the steps of the Hogan stand. League champions, Leinster champions, and they want to do this again in September. They haven't done it since 1988 when Cyril Farrell was manager. Think 29 years ago. Think Noel Lane, Joe Cooney, Brendan Linsky, Tony Keady, Sylvie Lenan, the great Sylvie Lenan, Conor Hayes, PJ Malloy. Aidan Hart, who was playing today at wing back, was only a month old. Joe Canning wasn't even born. That's their mission, and Micheál Donoghue has done a tremendous job, only in his second year in charge. Guided Clarenbridge to an All-Ireland club title in 2011, was involved with the former Tipperary manager Eamon O'Shea's backroom team. And with Noel Larkin and Francis Ford, they have put together a really impressive outfit. Galway, not alone Leinster champions, but they've also qualified for an All-Ireland hurling semi-final. That's quite a prize. Here it is, the Bob O'Keefe Cup, commemorating Bob O'Keefe, a native of Kilkenny, won an All-Ireland with Laois. Galway, Leinster champions 2017. The West is truly awake, and there's more to come.
Well, that's the question, Marty Morrissey. 2 trophies for Galway so far this year. Will there be another trophy later in the summer? That is a different question altogether. For the moment, let's congratulate this Galway win here today, Ken. It was tight, as Joanne was saying in the interview there at half-time, but then they pushed on the second half, and that's what you expect a good team to do.
Well, I suppose, look, it's a 70-minute game. The final whistle is not going to have time, and I'd say Galway people in general would be happy if they, say, see out first halves and then really explode the second half. And they scored 290 in 3 games. That's an average of 32 points per game. You can't ask for more than that, and they have a bit of class, they have a bit of quality in the forward line. And at times in the first half, they found it hard to find the space or to cope with Wexford's way of playing. But look, 290 and in the 3 games and what they scored today, like, you can't ask for more from a forward line who have great weapons in attack there. Look, send out a serious message, I think, to the rest of the country that they are a serious team. It looks like only a stepping stone for them today. There's no one getting too excited, no one getting carried away. I'd say be back in recovery tomorrow and say they're back training on Tuesday, because they see the bigger picture, that this thing is wide open, and they're one of the, to me, they're at the moment, they're favourites, and they're in the driving seat to get the big one.
Were the Leinster champions, Henry?
Absolutely, yeah. I think, they have made improvements. They won the Leinster title in 2012. No one expected them that day. And they were very close to win the All-Ireland that year. Didn't get there. And we've been talking about them since. But I think they were very professional in what they did today. And a big thing, their strength. I think Michael was commenting, their age profile is very good. Look at Conor Whelan, who didn't score today. His strength under winning one the ball was on the Cusick stand and winning a free. And I think for me as well in the second half, what really stood out was that they were so dominant in the sky. You think back to the teams the last few years have been dominant in the sky. Galway cleaned out Wexford in the second half in the sky. And like, Conor Whelan scored 5 points the last day, didn't score today. So what happens? Conor Scooney scores 6 points. Joseph Scooney scores. And I think that's the spread. They have those spreads. You can't be, up to now, they were depending on Joe to do it every day. Well, now I think there is a greater spread in them. And I think they look very good. But I'm sure Gerard will say this as well, is that it's still only July. And for Galway to really make the progress, it's going to be August time when we really went to see their form. But today, hats off to them, they did their job.
Well, as Henry said, it is still only July, and that applies to both teams, Gerard, because Wexford obviously are not out of the championship, although today would have been a disappointing day for them.
Well, we didn't fancy them coming up. Very few fancied them. Even the Wexford supporters before the game, in fairness, that were coming up to support them, looking to the future, really, because when you look at Galway there today in the second half, they did look like 2-1 favourites for the All-Ireland. Considering the standards there now, the Juven, the great team, the great Kilkenny team is gone past its best. Now, I think in the second half there, you'd have to admire the dominance of the half-back line. They just cleaned everything out. McInerney, and as Henry says, supreme in the air. The dead ball striking of Joe Canning was outstanding, even the sideline. But he hardly missed anything from there. And then you had the Cooney show up front, So I think, Wexford will have to look at playing with the sweeper, because they haven't the forwards. They haven't 5 forwards who can beat 6-packs. Whereas Galway have 5 forwards who can beat 6-packs because they have such quality. And Galway did this to Clare last year. They're used to playing against the sweeper, And Aidan Hart created havoc against Clare last year. So Wexford have to look at that. Are they going to win anything playing with so many men back in their own defence? Because the diagonal ball playing down the wings is catching them out. And then when you have the quality of the Galway have, you have no hope. But, Michael Dyson made a great remark there about Joseph Cooney. And this is about all the Galway team. This year, you notice they're far lighter on their feet. Their conditioning, they have supreme conditioning. They're looking for the tackle, but when they get the ball, they're way lighter on their feet, and the sharpness and the crispness of their striking is just of the top class. I never saw Conor Cooney striking. There's hardly a backswing with him now. He's striking like Patrick Horgan. So there's huge improvements that way. They do deserve to be favourites. I think, I'm not going to say they'll win it, but,
Well, I can tell you they are light on their feet down on the pitch side right now, because the jigs and reels are starting celebrating the Bob O'Keefe Cup. Now, a reminder to you, by the way, once again, that straight after our live show here at Croke Park, you can join our studio guests on Facebook. That's if you want to hear more of their thoughts on the weekend's big championship hurling action. Now, we'll also have more chat on this Leinster final after the break. Galway are the Leinster Hurling champions for 2017 after their impressive 9-point win over Wexford here at Croke Park this afternoon. That, of course, is their second Leinster title, having also claimed the Bob O'Keefe Cup in 2012. And the Galway players still down on the pitch, receiving the congratulations of their fans. Let's just sum up before we leave you the weekend that has been, Henry, in hurling, because it has been a busy weekend, and I guess from here on now it begins to step up to the next level.
Yeah, it'll really get interesting tomorrow morning with the draw for the qualifiers.
Yeah.
I think the big thing is that Kilkenny showed a bit of form last night. Tip are still struggling. Waterford were back on form a bit. So it'll be very interesting what way the draw goes. And I think overall everyone's going to be talking about Galway tomorrow again, very clinical. So, but look, the next couple of weeks is going to be about those qualifiers and see what happens and see who transpires, because I think if those couple of teams, Tip, Kilkenny or Waterford, get a bit of momentum, they won't fear the quarterfinals, and lo and behold they'll be back here in August, and from there it's anyone's game.
We've been saying over the last couple of days, Ken, you know, that because of the way the championship is panning out, because the All-Ireland champions are going through a bit of a bubbly patch at the moment and all that, where are Waterford at in all this? Can they come through the maze?
Yeah, look, I suppose probably came in for a bit of stick after the Cork game when I said we were lacking a small bit of leaders in the second half.
Yeah.
I was only giving my honest opinion on it.
Enough.
And I say if the lads sat down with the management on the Monday, reviewed their game, they wouldn't be a million miles away from what I said. But I think Waterford are good enough, and that's why probably I was a bit hard on them. But this team needs to deliver. They went out last night, but you can only play what's in front of you and score 130 or 35 points or 135 against Offaly. I think it was the highest ever championship score by points. You can only do what's in front of you, and they done it.
Then you have to actually do it.
It's a good game to get and get a bit of confidence going again and lead in for next week. The draw is massive tomorrow.
Sure.
And next week's games are going to be huge. But I don't think much has changed now on Sunday evening as I had on Friday morning. I kind of knew the four teams were going to go through, whatever.
Yeah,
So I'm looking forward to tomorrow morning, see what happens. And Waterford are in a good position. They could enter a quarter-final after playing 2 games, more play under their belts, small bit of confidence, open up, attack a bit more, and they could be. I think Waterford will be thereabouts big time again, still in this championship.
And there's another team we have to put into the mix here in the middle of all this as well, of course, is your own county, because you know but they are in a Munster final.
But you're like they're the forgotten team of this championship. You know, when people are talking about it, they're talking about next Saturday, they're forgetting about next Sunday, and people are saying about Cork and Galway being the most impressive teams in the championship.
I suppose wouldn't it be fair to say though that's because Cork have kind of come in a bit of a revival, so there's a bit of attention on them.
No question. And it's also because of Clare's display against Limerick, which was, you know, way below what we all expected of them. But, you know, in the crucial area of the field, from midfield up, you know, if you take that 8 from midfield up, Clare have 6 players there who are as good as you'd find in any county. And it's the players from midfield up that make the difference. And I think the game against Cork next Sunday will suit Clare. It'll be an open hurling. It'll be, if they get out of this, you know, institutionalised mentality they have of playing with these systems, you know, they just cut loose and they Tony Kelly, Colm Galvin, Conor Mcgrath, Shane O'Dan, if they let them hurl, you know, get out and play like Galway played today with that in the second half with that kind of freedom. I know we've a problem with winning the ball, winning our own ball, you know, that is the one, and that's why people are saying, you know, them, but when they play at their best, you know. I can go back to times we saw them at under 21, saw them at senior, saw them against Kilkenny last year in the league semi-final. When they play like that, they're irresistible and they're as good as anybody that's there. And, you know, curiously enough, a few weeks ago, that full Galway team, you know, they gave them a good bit of a lesson inside in Ennis, because they're capable of playing at that pace. So, really looking forward to next Sunday. You know, Cork are famous, but I think we've a real chance.
You haven't gone away.
No.
All right then. That brings us to the end of another big day here in the Championship. Sherlock Nan, Ken Mcgrath and Henry Shefflin have been here with me in studio, of course, but in actual fact their work isn't done just yet. If you want to join them on Facebook shortly for more chat. But for the moment though, congratulations to the footballers of Kerry and the hurlers of Galway, provincial champions for 2017. See you the next time.